Boom, back at it. Reviews day, All-Star Comics podcast. Ready to go. Lots of stuff this week. Lots of stuff. Ready to go. Lots of things. We're going to be as positive as we can be. We had some trials and tribulations with some of these books. We're going to be as positive as we can. Hit us up on the socials. All-Star Comics podcast on Instagram. I'm on Idiosyncratic Pulpit Instagram. You're at X. What's your X?
We Rob Messick 76, but also we have an Awestruck Comics X Twitter.
Whoa.
Um, we also have a Gmail account, Awestruck Comics.
Near
We're just
Supreme.
everywhere you want to be. I do Maximum Supreme. That's a day by day page of Supreme, telling it in order to read the entire Supreme saga.
Love it.
And I'm also doing a Youngblood, every cover to Youngblood from now until the new series debuts.
Which is where? That's on X.
That's on It's on the Facebook Extreme page, but it's also on my personal Rob Messick 76 Twitter. So that's where you can catch us. If you can't get enough of our hour, 2 hour, 3 hour long talks,
5 hour.
you can get us elsewhere.
Yep. I don't know how your wife's not just constantly killing me. Like just
She's left. She's gone.
okay. So we have a little bit of leeway
All
right
right.
now. So let's get into it. We got lots of reviews. I did try to interject certain things inside, stuff I think I assumed we may talk about. So let's see how this goes. Constantly trying to improve. Let me share.
And you're doing a heck of a job.
I'm doing my best. Doing my best. So you're seeing, and uh let me view this full screen. Just narrating here. Let me pull us over here and make us a little bigger. I think we're probably in good size right there. All right, perfect.
All right.
All right.
This
So
this
uh,
might be my book of the week.
I would think it's your book of the week. I think this is the best issue by far so far.
I think
Absolute
so.
Superman, Jason Aaron, Rafa Sandoval.
Number three.
Number three, there's the alternate, is the Christian Ward alternate,
Yep, that is.
pretty great. Pretty great. We'll talk about Christian Ward a little bit later. A lot of crypto love in this, which is interesting because a lot of crypto love in general after that trailer, but probably not on purpose, just kind of
Yeah,
happened
this
here.
this is luck.
Yeah, and that's fine, but this is more of a white lab crypto, which is
Traditional.
yeah, yeah, I guess so.
Traditional-ish. Labs are probably the most common type of dog, at least when we were growing up, everyone seemed to have a lab.
Right, right, right. At least that the crypto in the movie is going to be more of like this mutt scruffy looking guy.
Yeah.
But crypto's not as precious. So no, people are going to be like, "How dare you? How
Yeah,
dare you
nobody
switch
cares.
the
Right.
genus of the dog?"
I know.
Um, I'll just get the one flaw out of the way, just one quick one
Okay.
is I kind of lost the thread of where I was, and I think I'm going to have a hard time when four comes out because we have one page of modern day, which I show later, which I won't spoil, but we'll spoil in 2 minutes from now. But I don't know where Superman is. Superman and Lois are. I don't like. I'm lost a little bit there. I feel like there should have been 2, 3 pages. Maybe it should have been the first 2, 3 pages, and then he's like, "Hey, by the way, 6 years ago, blank," and then they drop us into this.
Yeah.
This is this whole
The
little story, you
the
know.
Krypton stuff has kept my attention more throughout this three issues of this series. So this
Agreed.
issue
Yeah.
mostly taking place on Krypton, right up my alley.
Mm,
It's interesting. It's like here we talk about the gold lava flows, we talk about the Krypton, the Jewel Mountains, like they're actually getting into
great.
what we've known about Krypton, and to
Mhm.
see it set and told in a modern way. Like we've had all of these Superman artists and writers over the years, they never really go back to Krypton and explore it in a cool way. They don't explore it in a way that like that map from the 70s of Krypton is my favorite. I think it's from the Amazing World of Superman map. They use it other places.
You
But
love
that
that, yeah.
map shows, I do. I love that map. It's like, here's this, here's that, here's weird, why the oceans are weird or why. I love it. It's a neat thing. And to see it kind of written in a modern way, like, oh, all the Silver Age stuff makes sense if you can write it in this way. So
Yeah,
back to the story.
I also like that the concept of them all leaving is a thing here, where I feel
Yes.
like that is not a thing in any other uh why not? It almost felt like in the movie and other continuity, they're like, we don't have time. We only have time to make a thing, throw our
Yes.
baby in it, get the baby out of here. Right.
Yeah.
So now we have how old would you say the Superman is? 12?
Yeah. That's a good age.
So he's an 18, 19 young Superman. And also I'm a little nervous that this is where I don't know. I know we've been talking a lot about the Ultimate Universe and how we don't think the Ultimate Universe is a little bit disjointed. I don't really know about the universe. This is the only uh Superman's the only one really talking about, like, I guess, like privatized troops, right? Because who are the Omega Men? We don't know that yet. That's next issue, is the
That's
Omega
next issue.
Men,
Yeah.
right? But I feel like there's a different thing in just the country, right? So we like versus forces. So they're coming after him, and then in Gotham City, and there's a regular military and Wonder Woman. So we'll see how that all maps. We imagine that's all going to those that these writers seem to be tight and have had conversations, right?
Right.
Um, so we'll see. Again, Jason Aaron was the second, not the second choice, but he everyone thought that that Snyder was doing this one, and then Jason Aaron did it. So
It's interesting. I wonder if that doing this kept Jason Aaron away from traditional Superman.
maybe, yeah, because he only did 3 issues. He
He
only
only
did
did
three
three issues,
issues of action.
but like I had thought he was coming on to do more.
Mhm. Right,
So,
right.
but we get this instead, and this is fine. This is good.
That's fine. Um, we're understanding more about this like symbiote costumey thing here a little bit more. You don't like this, or you
Right,
have
right.
trouble with it.
I prefer traditional Superman cape.
Mhm.
Um, and just the way it looks, the way I've always enjoyed that better. I mean, it's interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes. I see how it protects. They use it good. The cape they've designed, they use it well. I just prefer a traditional cape. And we'll see.
Right.
We'll see how it looks. And they may draw him. That cape may become more traditional looking as the story
Eventually.
continues. Yeah.
Yeah, more of like
Like
of a
I don't
DCU.
I don't need it looking like, I don't know, Spawn molecule cape.
Yeah, I like Cryptoscape here. Look at that. That's it's interesting. It's like a weird negative space like texture, so
Yes.
the colorist
That's
probably had
neat.
a little bit of fun at that. So I wonder how that was given to the colorist, but I do like this like complete, it looks alien, it's got like Spock ears almost, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a neat looking costume, armor.
Yeah, I like this though. I guess the suit works. You're an idiot. Let's go home.
Yeah.
So, but the action, this is kind of the him stretching a little bit, and I think this is what I feel like. This is where he wins. I think Ralph Sandoval is kind of winning with the action. Again, I want to see the action. I want to see the action.
Yeah.
And this is the computer lettering. I have a lot of trouble with the lettering. Not this per se. It's weird. I don't know who lettered this, but it almost looks like John Workman lettering, but I just think the chooms and the hiss, I don't know. I like it more organic. I like it more of the Daniel Warren Johnson type of stuff. I don't like it when
Yeah.
it's always kind of printed in.
I mean, that's
Um,
always a preference, but not all pencilers have that skill.
yeah, yeah. This is really cool though. But yeah, so I mean, ultimately, they're. Oh, I didn't put it in. Oh, that's funny. I didn't put the spaceship thing in.
Oh
But I
yeah.
did. I thought that looked pretty
Yeah,
great. But
that's cool. That's only ever been something in Elseworlds where the parents
mhm,
make it to Earth.
right.
You know, um, they could be building up to spoilers, possibly. They could be building up to one of them is there or something, or they have a crazy tragic thing on the way to Earth, or they don't make it to the ship. We don't know. It's one of those things.
Right, right.
Um,
Just
but
one of
we've
those
already,
days.
but we've already been surprised with Martha Wayne being alive.
Yeah, so that's right. So Martha's alive there. Here, Martha again.
Could be
Martha,
Martha.
Martha.
Why is she saying that name?
Why'd you say that name? So Martha here alive, but you have a picture, and whereas next of kin, of course, he wouldn't be technically next of kin. Maybe he was never formally adopted in this universe. We don't really know. I always felt like the first time we see him, this is the first time he's been here. So is this a bleed from another universe or what? Fly back to me, like I don't know, back where you belong. I don't really know. She's like a delusional, crazy lady, you know, in a senior
Maybe.
living. So we'll see. Good, that's fine. Give me a cliffhanger. But again, I just think it should have been 3 pages of setting up, or maybe I don't even really remember. Are they captured? Is Lois captured with Superman, or I don't really remember. I don't remember the last issue, but
I know it's bad. A book that we love. And we're like, what happened?
it's just how it goes, man. We're old.
Yep. No,
Um,
we just expect by the time the next issue comes out, context will tell us what happened.
yeah, so this I popped it because they did a replica, they did a reprint of this. I think this is really weird because I don't know, is this the first? I don't even know what the significance is. I know that it's a Starlin issue, but like I don't understand. And first of all, I just want to kind of put this here. Look at how busy this cover is, right? Like so much. So they did a replica of this. I don't know if this is it because again, it has the 50 cents in there. So I don't imagine this is how they printed it. I haven't seen it in person. Even where I downloaded, this is not that high of a res, but interesting. The new Teen Titans in a 16-page comic. Is this the first appearance of
Yes.
the Teen Titans?
Yep.
So that's an exclusive story inside of this?
Yes. In the middle of the book, it's just here's a Teen Titans story, 16 pages, false cover. Um, they did the same thing with the first appearance of He-Man in a DC comic.
Oh,
It
that's
was
right.
in a
Yeah.
same bonus thing. They
It was
probably and
DC
they
Comics Presents too,
it
right?
was it was
Yeah.
so that was the neat thing they tried doing. I don't know if they did it. I can imagine maybe they did it with Captain. I feel like they did it with someone else, maybe Captain Carrot or somebody else,
Yeah. That sounds
you
right.
know. But yeah. So that's the first Teen Titans. This predates Teen Titans #1.
Yeah, but it says previews. It to me, it's like,
You know where you know where I bought this comic? I bought it for $8 in Canadian money, which tells you I bought it in Canada. I was up
wow.
in Canada back when I was dating my wife. We went up to Niagara Falls. Um, back when
W two,
you didn't need like anything to cross. Like, oh,
W
okay,
two, Wave two.
wife two, dating
We love
her.
it. We love
Took
it.
her up
Ian
there.
made fun of me last week when I was saying W1.
I know. Of course, what I do in another country, full, filled with beautiful scenery in Niagara Falls,
One eight
comic
hundred
book
comic
store.
book. I guess in
Yes,
Canada 1-855, whatever it would be.
right.
Comic book locator service.
Hey,
Uh,
welcome to the comic book locator service, eh? Um, so yeah, I found that like $8. I'm getting that. Funny, which is
and that's
probably
a
like 6.5 in American money. I don't know what the book's worth today.
yeah. It's just weird, like that you're gonna keep this cover. Like it's just not really
You have to.
representative of. I guess I don't
It's
know.
a facsimile. Facsimile means that it's a facsimile.
No,
There should what?
yeah, I guess
So
you're right, but I'm just like I'm mad about it.
listen, listen. You could in some weird world you should be able to do like a something different from a facsimile, like a legacy or some sort of
Yeah,
you you know what I mean.
the
There are
Baxter
other things you
reprints
could
would do
do.
stuff like that. Like the Shadow of the Batman series is a really good like Batman series, which is that's all the Marshall Rogers for the most part. It's Marshall Rogers, Steve Englehart stories. There's a Walt Simonson, Steve Englehart story in there, and some backup Marshall Rogers like weird war tales like issues in the back. But like yeah, so I feel like there probably could be something. But you're right. Yeah, I mean they're making so much money off these. And was it you I was speaking to about the legacy, or a retailer that likes the legacies? They put the facsimiles. They buy them in foils and they just leave them on the shelf and they last kind of forever. It's like a
Evergreen.
little bit of an evergreen.
Yeah, Jimmy
Yeah,
J, famous Jimmy J.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, he says they're great. They're evergreen. They're people. It will always be bought. Yeah, especially by people who aren't really into comics. The walkthrough, they're great for walkthrough customers.
A couple years ago, they were doing a lot of reprints. A lot of the Conans they did for $1. They were great. They were on like really good paper, and they had minimal advertisements where they did house ads inside, so they weren't facsimile, but they were good recolors and all that.
Mm.
So yeah, just interesting. This I just thought, but look how busy. Like I even think when you see the Toys R Us ad, like in the Marvel, like how much did they pay for that? I would love to know like the logistics of that, where they had the big banner up top, the Toys R Us, and the stuff on the sides. It's so busy, you know.
Also, like this cover repeats itself because up at the top right is like extra special free 16-page preview of the new Teen Titans. But then over
Yeah,
to the
right,
left, it's
right.
like bonus introduction to the new. Like we don't need it twice, so
Well,
you messed up your cover by doing it twice. 25 all new pages starring your favorite heroes. That's worthless. What's that? What does that mean? Yeah, we know we're getting 25 new pages. This is DC Comic Presents.
right. Well,
So
I guess
like,
they're delineating. They're like, but guess what? You get even more. You don't have to say bonus. You're right. You don't, the first one's irrelevant. You don't have to say they have a big asterisk. They separate the two comments.
plus
You don't
whatever
need it at
happened to
all.
Sargon the Sorcerer? Who
Don't
cares?
care.
Who's I was wondering, sitting around like, whatever happened to Sargon
Oh
the
my God.
Sorcerer?
What the
Bad DC, bad cover,
Ay,
bad
ay, ay.
cover. But
Yeah.
meanwhile, this beautiful art cover, the Green Lantern Superman, that's
Yeah, Jim
awesome looking.
Starlin. And then and back this time, like this is when he's probably doing like Warp and doing some other stuff where he's doing pencils or he has an overlay in the background. So he's working the crap out of it, So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
So you could have
definitely
taken off that top
shrinking.
banner, taken off the top banner, made the title a little smaller, move it all the way to the top, you know, blown up this art incredibly, and still you could have had the Teen Titans bonus thing somewhere else. Yeah, it is a bad
Uh,
design.
yeah,
It's
I
like
I have a couple. I grabbed a couple extra covers this week on my pulls, but showing you like why didn't you make the logo bigger? And again, a lot of it, I'm in editing mode a lot of the time now because of working with Premiere Pro and like I want to put this here, put that there. So when I'm looking at these covers coming out, just like why you could make that logo bigger, this logo could be smaller, put the logo over the like just it's really a
listen,
lot of choice.
space is a valuable commodity. We if you listen to our news uh episode a couple days ago, we had talked about hardcovers and title pages and like proper usage of that space because we were complaining how they take covers, variant covers of miniseries, and when they put it in a trade, they put four on a page. I'm like, no, these are full pages of art.
Before on a page, but then you have a 6 page like preface. They have
Yeah,
like a title page, and then they'll have all the issues and the page numbers, and then they'll have an acknowledgments page, and then they'll have like an intro. It's like an intro is
it's
two
bad.
pages where it could be 1 page, and I'm like, this could be 2 pages, not 6 pages,
There's
and
something
then you could
better to
have
be
one, two, three,
designed
four,
there.
five. Right, right. So that's all. Just I thought it was funny that it popped out. So interesting. I think it's nice that Cully Hamner has a job. That's cool. I wish the interior. I mean, this is still it does complement it. So I do say that this is not a distracting cover artist. So
Yeah.
JSA3, Jeff Lemire writing. I think I even put the title page in with the guy's name, Diego. I think I have it in later. Diego Alortagui. This
Yeah.
guy's like one of my favorite new artists. I think he's really good. And I zoom in on this page, so the one of the first pages here, because I think there's two things going on. So with that top face, who do you think when you're looking at that top face?
Scott McDaniel.
I'm thinking it's a little bit of a Dale Keown as well. Scott McDaniel's a good pick for sure. The bottom face, I'm thinking it's a Greg Capullo, right? So it's
Yes.
kind of
Yeah. Greg
cool,
Capullo for the bottom for sure.
but I think it's kind of fun that they're in there
And
now.
whether intentional or not, or it's just in the back of his brain, good job.
Yeah,
Good job. I still think it's this guy's. Didn't we say we think he's drawing it digitally?
it's possible. Yeah, like mainly because if you look at this, if you look at the uh I think he's using a different texture on the nose, right? So he's
Yeah.
probably doing a different what do I have my pen with me? I was working a little bit yesterday with my Apple Pencil. I was messing around with some stuff.
Fancy.
But I feel like he's using a different thing. So it's so he's deciding on the lines on his nose are different than the crease lines and the sweat, So it's yeah, I feel like he's probably using Procreate or something.
Listen, man, this guy's an artist and he's thinking about every panel, and I appreciate that.
I
He's
like the
thinking about every
flashback
panel.
is in this. Yeah, he's like exactly. And I also like that these demons are not just like generic demon one, generic demon two. It's almost like Peter Jackson demons, right? Where they're all very specific looking. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like
They're
the
not
orc, right?
like
The
demon
orcai or
one
whatever,
orcs. Yeah, they're
or like
scary.
he's tied to a bone. That's a very specific with
I don't even
entrails,
think I
right? Is he
noticed that.
tied with entrails to a
Ew.
bone? Like the
Yeah.
more you look at it, the grosser the panels get.
Yeah, just this version of is pretty crazy good. Yes, he's doing the nose thing. That's a very specific choice, and it's fine. What's funny is whenever I see and these lines here are not lines. And I always think about John Buscema when I see lines on a woman's face because he in Hasbro Comics the Marvel way he was talked about lines on women's faces are be very careful. For every line or two, you're aging them by so many years. So you have to be really careful with having too many
Yeah,
lines. Did
that
this?
first panel,
Mhm,
totally unnecessary amount of work and angles,
fine.
and you know what I mean.
You have
Look,
servers in the background. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
service. He's leaning the coffee, the keyboard, the sitting. Do you know how hard it is to draw a woman sitting in a chair from behind from that
Yeah,
angle?
from the angle down. Yeah. Um, is this new? Did Sand ever crush on was Jade in the Johns run? I don't
I think
remember.
I think she was in it, but I don't recall this.
I don't recall this either. And it's not to say that they are doing anything. It's just that not like he even says that like and look, this is issue 3. This is issue 6 because I feel like he just started writing issue 1 as number 3. And I kind of dig that. I think that's really fun actually. This is really, I mean, it annoyed me in the first issue, but now that I'm in issue 3, I feel like I'm in issue 5 or 6. So I think it's really, really fun.
Yeah, we've
So
been getting a
that's
lot
skipped.
of story for our money.
And then, again, looking from this and the character work and the faces, there's a lot of good acting. The first, I don't see pinching of the nose. That's not
Right.
really a thing that you
The
see.
bridge. Yeah, that people don't.
But this is this here, again, going to what we talked about the last time we talked about this guy. This is um, shoot, Nick Bradshaw. Like this is
Mhm.
like the thicker lines. And this guy, did he do the Jay Garrick mini that had like Todd and all
Yes.
covers?
Yeah, yeah.
Again, that shouldn't have Todd and all covers because I didn't really want to read it, but now I want to go back and look at it. So that says connection. This is a new Doctor Fate, and again, I don't think I put it, but the different chapter breaks they put like their headquarters inside the jail. They put Infinity
And,
Inc.
and he's definitely looking at the Scott Collins, Sullivan Grundy stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. So there is definitely a Scott Collins, but it's not as loose, it's not as thin as Scott Collins. Scott Collins at the time when our favorite Scott Collins, I think, Flash pre 200, 170
Yeah.
to 200. He leaned on the colorists at the time. It's Pat Garrity or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Like,
They worked
uh,
really well together.
so that this is a bit more new digital coloring, but it looks real fresh. Looks really, really good. I do like that this new Injustice Society basically are like versions of, like a version of a Green Lantern. This is like a shade, a Sandman, reverse. So I don't really know what's going on with them. I don't really care. Again, really, really good. And I thought this was really fun too, because I was thinking when he's walking by, I was like, okay, remind me. And this is the first time we've ever seen DC Surtur. Yeah, I mean it's a
I don't know. I feel
mythological
like
character.
if he was around, I feel like he'd be in like All Star Squadron. Like the
Yeah, okay,
the
yep.
issues, like yeah, that's what I think.
That's an Ordway, like an Ordway area in that
Right.
first 25.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's probably right. Yeah, that's probably right. But
Because wait a
um,
minute, don't the Justice Society fight? Aren't they stuck in Ragnarok
well, that's
around
what.
the
Yeah,
time of?
I think that's right. Yeah, so that's also what they're doing here. And then it's so funny. I didn't need to see the name on it when I first saw the glasses. I was like, yes. So I think that's really fun. They're using that. Oh, that's not Charlton. What are those characters? Not
the the
Harris.
the quality characters?
Quality. Yeah. Kid Eternity. I'm blanking on everybody else.
Yeah.
But they had man, didn't they have like a quality couple one shots so many years ago? They had a Kid Eternity one shot that I believe Cully Hamner drew actually.
Yeah. They did that miniseries, the Earth X miniseries that was really good. It was quality, but it also had like the plastic men in it. They were like, because the Earth X, where the quality heroes are, DC decided to make a Nazi Justice League as their villains.
Right. Earth X, not Alex Roth.
I
Earth
mean, technically
X.
it's Earth 10.
Right.
It was Earth X pre-crisis, and then when they did it in order, they're like, well, X is 10. Like Earth S, Shazam, is
Mm.
Earth 5 because S looks like a 5.
Yeah, it's cheap. Cheap.
It, it's a good way to put it in order. I don't mind it.
But this goes in line with what we like about JSA, Infinity Incorporated, which is the legacy situation. I think that's this is fine. Perfect. Yeah. So Diego Al blah blah. Great.
Ooh.
Luis Guerrero,
Or
great.
is it Olertegu?
Allure Tagoy.
Is it Diego sounds that's probably Spanish. So
Could be
Orlor,
South American, yeah.
yeah.
Great. Really good.
I
Very,
wish
very
we
good.
knew.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. This is part 5. All right.
All right.
Just want to say we only have 2 issues left. So next issue is Tony Daniel again. I forget who's doing the last issue, but I believe the Jorge Jimenez is not coming back. So maybe it's Fornes, maybe it's DiGomenico. I just find it funny that the finale of this Chip Zdarsky run that we just want to I want to be done with so bad. So this is the first Batman run since 1989 that I wanted to be done. I never was really like waiting for one of these to be done, right?
Right.
Whatever was leading up to like what led up to Hush, don't really know, but it wasn't bad that I was like, I can't wait for that to be done so I can have Hush. And then when Hush ended, what did they do? In order to be next, they were like, okay, let's get Eduardo Rizzo and Azzarello to do a breather, and then it goes into whatever went to after. But I've never wanted a storyline to be done, you know. Ah, so but again, okay, so this is the fourth artist because you had Jorge Jimenez is believed to the first one, then Di Domenico, then Jorge Forn. Is that right? Yeah, DJ Domenico to Jorge Fornes, Tony Daniel now, Tony Daniel next issue, and then again, and then Jimenez not coming back. Cool. Um, and that logo, by the way, Jimenez designed that when he came on, when Zarsky came on. So that logo is designed by Jorge Jimenez.
Think they're going to keep it for Hush?
Nah, they'll probably do the same. They'll
Oh, the
probably
same
do the
Batman.
same Batman. They'll do the Hush that it's still slightly turned. I want to say that's probably Starking's but it's in line with everybody else. So um, I don't know, man. Like, okay, so at least with this, the Commander Star, they get rid of the concept of Commander Star in this later on. We'll get into who that is later. I my biggest issue, and I talked to you about this, is, and this is a really dumb. I mean, again, most we talk about the idiosyncrasies of what we like and don't like about these books is how blind, or is it short-sighted, long-sighted? What is it? What's the deficiency on Jim Gordon's eyesight?
Right. We don't
Wait,
know.
he
Um,
can't have his glasses on because the glasses have uh, some Nigma tech that is brainwashing Jim Gordon, right? Jim Gordon literally shot the mayor. Okay. So with it's
but he
partial
did not shoot
Nigma
the
tech.
deputy
Right. So it's Nigma tech slash Mad Hatter technology, whatever, right? So he can't have it on. Okay. And there's no anchor on this, right? This is Daniel. Daniel looks a little different. Looks a little different than what I'm used to. Again, Daniel had a run that he wrote Andrew,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
still pretty good. It was
He
opposite Scott Snyder.
he was doing a lot of because he drew some stuff for Morrison, and then he wrote and drew stuff for New 52.
Yeah, he did RIP. He did RIP a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And this to me ran a little false. I don't think if I was given a Batman utility belt, and this wouldn't happen in real life. Maybe it would. Um, I would just be like, there's no gun. None of these guys have guns. No one has a gun. He's a police officer. You can just have a gun. He doesn't need to have Batman utility belt stuff. Okay. I don't know how nearsighted, farsighted, and he has to go get Commander Star, right? All right, he's got to fight this crazy big lady. You mean to tell me he gets thrown like this by this giant person, right? And he's okay. He gets up, smashes into a desk. I can't even really tell what the action's going on, but he knows. He knows. When did he put the belt on? What am I looking at here? What's this? Like, is that the back of the belt? They just forgot to drive it in. He
Yeah,
didn't.
maybe.
It's weird. So,
That's
but
weird.
when did he put the belt on? So the belt's here. Oh my God, so annoyed. But like, okay, I get these like T-sphere like batarang things, these exploding Like, how does he know how to use these things?
Because he was Batman.
But he wasn't Batman. We don't think that
You,
happened, right?
but do you
That
think
did
they
happen.
and during a New 52, like Snyder's like third or fourth storyline was like he becomes Batman and he has a big bat mech suit,
It looked like it had like rabbit ears.
rabbit ears. Yeah, that was not a great thing.
I don't know. He would know how to do this. And then the next look, he's throwing batarangs and he's good at it. Come on, man. There's got to be some learning curve here. Just give him a gun. If he takes these people out with guns and shoots them in the leg or whatever, he doesn't want to kill them, I would be fine. But he doesn't. He shouldn't know how to throw the batarangs, man. It
Yeah,
can't be that easy, you know. If anything, it should be kind of funny that he throws it through his own hand or something. You know what I mean? Like, but that's not good comic booking. And this, oh man, like,
you
come on
love this
now.
stuff.
No, I hate this. Look at this.
I know you do.
So the riddle is this, the last riddle, okay? Not in pounds, but I measure weight. I won beauty's love, which started as hate. The beast won beauty's love, okay? And for the first part, he's talking about kilograms. Why? What makes you think he's talking about kilograms there? It's weight, weights and measures. Nate Bargatze, weights and measures.
That's
Anyway,
right.
um, abbreviated as KG. Oh, the KG Beast. Okay. Now I put this in there because I forgot about this. I was looking up. I was like, let me get a good picture. Where do I know the KG Beast? I'm thinking it's 10 Nights of the Beast, right? I'm thinking of the Mike Zeck.
Hmm.
But when I looked this up, I was like, oh, that's right. This guy killed the not so Jimmy Olsen in the beginning of Batman v Superman. So you have this guy who beat the shit out of Captain America in the Winter Soldier either the same year or the year before, right? It's the same
Right.
guy. This guy, the guy Callum Mulvihill, is like has like like an eye that's going the other way. You know what I mean? Whatever that's called. Like a lazy eye almost.
Right.
I just don't know what this again. This is Snyder, and you know what? Snyder and Gunn aren't that far off because that's Snyder's version of KGBs, right? Just as a lot of the people that we're going to see in this new movie, it's going to be it's a version of Vigilante. It's James Gunn's version of Vigilante. Just as when we watched the Mignola documentary, Mignola's fighting with Guillermo del Toro because that's Guillermo del Toro. He says Hellboy would never do that. He says your Hellboy would never do that. My Hellboy does this. My Hellboy singing in the rain. Okay. So who's right? Who's wrong? We're
Yep.
right. Me and you are right all the time. Except when we're not. So I just don't know. I like this. I mean, look, that's a great page. Fine. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what and also, how are you going to have the public perception of like, oh, Bruce Wayne's brother is not really his brother. It's this guy. He's a terrorist. It's like, what? And I want to say that's wrong, which says to be concluded. It's not. There's two issues. Come on,
It'll
man.
be
Come
to
on.
be concluded eventually.
To be concluded over two issues. That's not the way conclusion is. That's not the correct.
So,
Incorrect.
but he's not done yet, right? He'll do the storyline and then he'll like when does Jim Lee come back?
And two, I think it's two issues. What issue is this? 157, 158. It's 158, 159. I want to say it's 159 is when Tosh Two's out. Maybe I'm wrong. But I can't wait for this to be done. I can't wait. It would be great if there's one issue left. Then I only have to sit through one issue. Hopefully it's not double sized. Hopefully it's regular sized. You know what would be great. You know what would be great.
What would be
How
great,
about
Mark?
give me 14 pages and then give me that 6 page preview that I already got. I'll read that again. Who gives a shit? Just give it to me twice. Give it to me twice. So anyway, all right. We're positive here. We're positive, 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 positive. Um, Justice League: The Atom Project #1. I guess is a mini series. Doesn't really say on the cover. It's not going to be an ongoing series. I, who do you think came up with the powers are missing? I think this is a really good plot line. We talked about this last week. This is I think it's a really good idea because you can kind of drop it in. They did it with Martian Manhunter last week,
Right.
where the powers don't work correctly. So you get to tell everyone what the powers are. You get to tell there might be some type of motivation of them trying to get their powers back, or if they don't work correctly. That's interesting. But so the satellite, good idea. Not necessarily their idea, but they're doing a good adoption of it. In Titans, they have their own floor. Justice Society, they have Infinity
Yeah.
Incorporated section. They have their own piece. It's big enough you can just everybody's in there. Everybody's in there. There's a murderer. The question's walking around. She's the sheriff,
Mhm.
right? Like it's like they're doing a lot of cool series in this, and I don't know if I love the new Adam. I don't know if I love the Adam's costumes. Not the Captain Adam. I think is fine, but um, I just kind of like the Ryan Choi Ray Palmer situation of this. They were pretty good in the Justice League Unlimited, and then this is just it's a good spinoff. This was pretty good, and I don't like John Ridley typically. I feel like his stuff is a little heavy-handed, but I don't know who Ryan Parrott is per se. I don't know if I read anything individually. I've seen his name on some things, but I've never read it. I This is inter who do you think this looks like? I think this looks like two people. Let's see. I'm going to eat a cheese. You tell me who this
Oh,
looks like.
like what
Like artists. What artists do you think does that remind you of?
uh who's the Nightwing artist? Eddie Barrows?
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm thinking Brian Hitch and Trevor Hairstein.
Trevor
Hairstein.
Hair's not. I can get that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
make the screen share a little bigger. It's only about
Uh, I don't
I
know if
don't
I
know.
can.
All right, that's fine. Usually it is.
It is when I'm in the photo app because I couldn't get the
Okay,
other one open.
that's fine. That's fine. All right, yeah, I see the Trevor Hair's nine. I liked. I was a big fan of Class Four.
Who wrote that? I forget who wrote that.
I forget. It's like a Williams or Rob. No. Deep.
My only issue with this a little bit is I feel like this is the page I want to talk about. We are zoomed out. We are Jim Shootered out here, man. We are way zoomed out. Um, And I do like technically I do like the some of the Photoshop. I know they're doing some stuff here and that's fine, but I don't know. Mike Perkins, this is just way zoomed out. Mike Perkins was the alternate to Steve Epting, correct?
Yes.
Um, so this is a little bit, I don't know. And I know he's thinking himself, but and here's what I wanted to put. I put the zoom in here because you have to the bottom right, I think is Alexander Skarsgård. I think the guy above it, I can't really place it, but it doesn't seem like the same model. I know it's the same person, but I just feel like the models aren't really holding. You're getting into some like Diodato Jr. situations here where, it looks too much like a person. Um, because I think that to me looks like Bruce Campbell, right? So Bruce Campbell's Captain Atom, right?
Mm.
Alexander Skarsgård is I can't really tell who Ryan Choi is. That looks a little familiar. Not Stephen Young, but it looks like something. Anyway, I just thought that the model work here, that looks less like no, well that's Bruce Campbell right there. Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. You see that weird Bruce Campbell picture of like him in a Superman costume, like someone CG'd him?
No,
He's like, I could play Superman or something like that. I think
no.
somebody, I don't know. I didn't get the whole thing. He looks cool though. Bruce Campbell in a Superman costume.
I just think scale wise, like I really like this drawing. I really like it. Like give it to me. Give it to me. You know what I mean? There's
No.
not enough action. There wasn't enough action in this book. You have a little bit of action in the front. Gavin, 7, 7, 6, 7. Come on, just give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Here we go. Okay, again, I don't know why. Who did the cover of this? Baltimore Rivas. Still good, yes. But this guy, listen, you know what? It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, okay? But
Mm.
Christian Ward, and I do think, and I don't know if he's given Ivan the color palette, because I have a Christian Ward alternate cover at the end of this screen grab, I believe I have of that. Um, I really like this. This is actually, I've actually had a lot of fun with this. This is Christian Ward. So this is Two-Face number two. Two-Face number
Right.
two would be his favorite issue, I suppose. A little bit of preview of what's going on here with the um, Royal. Was it the Royal Flush Gang? Yeah, Royal
Right.
Flush Gang. The newer established. I'm trying to think where they were established. I'm not sure if Tinning did that a couple years ago, but this is like the newer versions of them, which is fine. But I do like there's the Reaper. So we're still dealing with this like fake court, which reminds me of what that was. Did they have some type of court like this in Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah. But
Does that sound
the
right?
Scarecrow was like the judge.
Right, right,
They had that. No,
right.
I like the court idea. I like the what are they called? The white something.
Yeah, I forget. But this is where I want to say that. Look at that. Boop. This is where I want to say like he's giving the coloring to the colorist. Feels very much like Christian Ward and the Christian Ward like watercolory thing. Christian Ward first artwork we saw from Odyssey,
Mm.
Odyssey, the Matt Fraction series, which
Right.
I feel was a little bit unreadable. Odyssey, I guess, has been in public domain, and we talked about last week. Speaking of Dark Knight Rises, the next Christopher Nolan movie is going to be an Odyssey movie,
Yeah, that's
Homer's
fine.
Odyssey. Um, but I really liked it. And when I first was reading this, I wasn't really getting it. But then he literally says it. Like when I wasn't really concepting like what I'm looking at. I do like things are kind of faded there. But then I like it when he says, but then again, I'm just a memory and there's no way you could know that. So this is his concept of Maroni, right? Which I think is pretty great. Um, This is like it's Han Solo. It's Han Solo in the Rise of Skywalker, right? Because remember Han Solo never says anything new, so it
Mm.
wasn't a Force Ghost Han Solo. It was just literally Kylo Ren's memory of Han Solo having you know delusions after he was stabbed and then healed. So really good, more believable. But I think this is great, man. I think they're doing the right coloring. They're doing the right. It makes you feel a little bit off
Yeah.
kilter.
I didn't think I was going to enjoy a Two-Face book so much.
No, and I put this in because, I talk about lettering and sound effects. So he literally has him jumping through the sound effect here, right? So it
Mm.
makes me think it's drawn here, but then I want to say the next page. I guess so. I guess it's lined enough. Yeah, it would have to be. Yeah, I would think that would have to be him, right? I think it's lined enough
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's
No,
not
it
it's
looks
not
like
computer. Yeah, I think I mean that's going to be fun. That's going to be, I would love to have been the editor, got that, be like, oh my God, I love this. You know what I mean? That would have been really really fun. But I just think you're right. I think it's how colorful. And we talked on the phone earlier this week how I'm just kind of confused how like Harley Quinn can't get a book that continues, right? But Poison Ivy's on issue like 30, right? I don't
Yeah.
know what this is supposed to be. The Joker series, I think it was always finite, the Matt Rosenberg Joker series that he just did. That was always supposed to be 12. So that came out with the man who laughed or didn't laugh or whatever.
Mhm.
That was always supposed to be exactly as it was supposed to be and was here and gone. Fine. But I don't know what this is supposed to be. Um, I'm surprised at how good Christian Ward's doing, but again, I'm getting a lot of good action, ends on a cliffhanger. Look at that. I love it.
Yeah. You know what it is? Like this is so good. Like this makes you want. Like we just got a phenomenal Penguin TV
Oh,
show.
yeah.
This
Yep.
makes you want a Two Face show.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. But we need a Two Face, I guess, to show up in the movie first, which we're not getting, right?
No, no,
No.
no. They had ineffective Harvey Dent prosecutor in the Joker Folie à Deux movie, which
Right.
was just
And he
makes
did
no
get his face
sense.
half burned off. Yeah, had a halfway decent Harvey Dent on what was it called? Gotham Knights, the second to the last
I
CW
didn't watch
show.
that. Yeah, I know you watched it.
I
I
did. I
never.
torture myself. Here's the thing. It wasn't a bad show.
Mm,
It was just everything that you
fine.
knew a CW show was going to be. Like the
Right,
girl
right,
who
right,
played Dula Dent was really good, but then the girl who played like uh Batgirl like was not good,
right, right, right.
or you know what I mean, or I guess so. It was just a mixture. Well, it is what I hate. You know what I hate? You know what saying I hate the most right now? It is what it is.
Yeah, I've always hated that. I
Always
always
hated
I,
it.
I fight against that quite a bit.
I just stopped myself from saying it now. My brother would always say it. I'm like, oh, come on, Rush, you can say something smarter.
It's very defeatist. I've had that talk with my daughters a few times about that. I hate the statement. My mom says it, and I remember my old boss said it one time. It was Paul Davis, one of my. Yeah, if you have a good boss or bad, I feel like you learn more from bad bosses, right? I feel like he was a bad boss. Okay,
Yeah, okay, that
and
checks.
and I feel like the bosses I felt were okay later on thinking about it let me make mistakes or like so I would like learn it a different way. So, I think about the people who, influenced me the most. I would think they wouldn't be as effective, and then they actually were doing something behind the scenes. Whether or I'm just overthinking it, which is probably true.
Probably
Um,
we overthink everything.
yeah, but it is what it is. It's no good. Uh, so I was going to read through and see if any of these characters are new characters. Face is a real character. White Rabbit's a new character. I'm
Hmm.
not sure who's in the middle. I don't really care. Again, it'll be revealed when it's revealed. I'm not trying to look it up. Don't care. Is Die a new character? It's good design. It's pretty cool
It
looking.
is
I
a
don't
good
I
design.
don't I
I
don't
don't
know what
know.
it is. Just real simple too. The art's real simple. I want to say the to the left that feels much like a uh Marcos Martin a little bit, you know. Just real light, yeah, just like really good light Javier Polito a little
Hmm.
bit with some Francesco Francovilla ink lines because the ink lines on Jana Hudson, those lines up, that's like a Francovilla. But look at even just the top. I don't care if you're photoshopping that stuff together, you're putting different city elements together and you create your own Gotham.
Right.
Great. Dirigibles in Gotham. Thank you. Please.
Yeah, we'll take it
Always.
always.
Always. Jim Lee always had a good Gotham. Jim Lee always had the dirigibles up. Do it. You know what I mean? Like that's a good looking Gotham. And that's a Nolan Gotham with the bridges and the stuff, like whatever, just cool. But you know what? That does track because some of my favorite stuff is the No Man Land stuff where like the government's like, yeah, Gotham sucks. We're not gonna send any funding, and so we'll just blow up the bridges and then they'll just be there. It was after Cataclysm, then
Right.
Contagion, one
Yeah.
of the two. It was all in a row, but really, really good. Shocking, and again, really cool Christian Ward cover. But see, that's what I mean. Is like if you would tell me, see the colorings, you see the watercolors across. The watercolors across are what you get in the book, and you're getting the purples and the reds and the blues. Yeah, I'm so impressed with this book. It's crazy. Yeah, and like you said, they'll be like, hey, guess what's going to be your favorite book of the week? Two Face. You're like,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
right. And I didn't even really want to buy the first one.
We
Oh boy,
what
here we go.
yeah, we had a discussion about how Poison Ivy is like up to issue like 40,
Yeah.
and how some of these books were like, I'm not really particularly reading, like I'll glance through the Poison Ivy issues,
Hmm.
but like I'm not buying it, I'm not reading it. But people are.
Good.
People are.
Fine.
So
If it wasn't,
it was good.
but certain things can't seem to hold.
I don't have to
Like
like everything.
Harley Quinn can't seem to hold, but that's a Miss Marvel at Marvel can't hold. That no one can hold that book up. It's just it keeps getting
Well,
canceled
you know
or
what? I bet you those two are cases of they had really good creative teams to begin with,
Mhm.
which sold really good. But any sequel, any series after that isn't that same team.
Diminishing returns. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're, like Poison Ivy might not even have the numbers of the most recent Harley Quinn miniseries, but they're like, oh, we're not doing good Harley. Like I think they're probably trying to continue to push Harley
Oh, I
Quinn
see. Right.
to where Poison Ivy is just chugging along at a same good rate, a constant profiting rate.
Hmm.
But they know that Harley Quinn could do better. Harley Quinn might be doing better than Poison Ivy. We don't know, but like it could be doing better, but it's not doing as good as they think it could do.
Right.
It's the equivalent to what we had said earlier on the news podcast. We were talking about how DC's always been number two, but when they reach number one for those 2 months, then the execs at Warner Brothers like, oh, you should always be number one. So now DC's always going to have a problem since they
Hmm.
were number one once, and that's what I think it is. Harley Quinn was probably the number one DC book, and the fact that it's not perplexes the people in charge. But you
Right.
can't
Right.
always
Right.
have Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Connor, Chad Harden.
Chad Harden and John Timms. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like these are incredible talents. So like I couldn't tell you who's doing the most recent Harley Quinn. Plus you had like Frank Cho variants, you know,
Right.
like
Right. Right.
like those are all going to sell a book.
Right.
So that's why like Harley Quinn could still be doing better than Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy never had that super A list talent. It's good artists, competent writing.
Hmm.
Miss Marvel, same thing. You know, who was the original team that was that? Was it G
Yeah. G. Willow
Wilson?
Wilson. And what's funny is
The,
G. Willow Wilson is doing the Poison Ivy book, so that's interesting. Um,
yep.
yeah, and it was yeah, and was it? I don't know if it was Cliff Chang on the first one or Cliff Chang did it a little bit later
What Poison Ivy or
of Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel? Who was the Andrew? Was it Song? Who wasn't it like a? It was a different artist. It was a good style for the book, but that
Adolfo
similarly
Aron, or something like that. Does that sound right? Yeah.
maybe like say something like that. So you had a certain style to the book, and you'll never and like that initial interest was so great, but now
Mhm.
you never get that again. And Marvel's probably saying, why aren't we getting this? We gave you a TV show. We put this character in a movie. You know,
Right. 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 Right.
they just
Yeah.
they are probably a good solid book that could be made, but it's not reaching the numbers they think, so they keep canceling it. It's a problem. Sometimes it's good to just kind of keep. How long did what's her name? How long did the Gail Simone do Secret Six for? Seemed
Oh
like
yeah, it was like
forever.
two series. Yeah, it was probably 60, 70 issues. Yeah.
Yeah, because it just kept flying right under the radar. Solid. It was just solid all the way through. All right, now let's get on a cable. Look at
I guess
this, really nice in. What's up?
yeah, no, I think this was fine. This was fine to me. I guess my resentment on the series all around, right, is Liefeld had a series that was going to go like a mini series, like
We
a
had a
cable first
cable first
contact,
contact. Yeah,
and then they're
as a
just like,
miniseries, really neat
we're going to
idea.
shelve it
Half
for
drawn. Well, no, they didn't shelve it. They promised him no other cable book, so we can just focus on yours. And then they throw in another cable miniseries. Like, Life is like, what the hell? They're like, there goes, like, people aren't looking forward to my book now as much because you're giving them another cable series,
right.
which was not good. It was despite being Fabian Nicieza and Scott Eaton can be a really phenomenal artist. The book was kind of boring.
Yeah,
And
my
then
biggest issue with that miniseries is that they had the alternate number one, which I showed a week or two ago, where I liked the hidden gem variant, but then the trade came out and they used that on the trade, and they used it like not even the whole body. It was like
yeah,
half of
yeah,
him up. The trade was garbage. Look, I was like, what are you doing? That's not in. It's not indicative of the interiors. Doing Scott Eaton a disservice. Scott Eaton's solid.
yeah.
Like just you're gonna give me an image that's 30 years old, and that's not in the book at all. Cool. Thanks.
Listen, they're just not. It is like we don't care about most of the stuff they do, but when they do things that we care about, we want to see it do. We just want it better. We just want better comics. You know, like this is a good idea. You got Ian Churchill do the cover.
Mhm. Yeah.
Super smart move. He's got a good cable run. Um, He's doing a mishmash of his
Tons are
old
good.
and new styles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They asked Liefeld to do a cover, but Liefeld's done at Marvel, which is good for him.
Right.
Although I still think we're going to get some more hidden gem Liefeld covers. I can think of at least 4 or 5 extra pinups he did. Um, and there's a couple images in the keepsake collections that he drew.
Oh, I see. Right, right, right.
So
Um, yeah, I popped in just talking about that too. I popped in so this is this hidden gem cover, right? Which is
mhm.
this was in X-Force 8. Was this a
I thought
pinup in X-Force 8 or this was a
I'm not
pinup in
positive. I thought
yeah.
it was an annual. Not positive.
Oh, okay. So this is a slight this coloring looks a little different, but it's not overtly over colored like I think that um that was like the time slide was,
Right.
right?
Yeah, they tried
That's
to
a
make something
major
different
over
out of that.
color. So we look at 29 bids. So I kind of just wanted to look to see what this is going for, right? What if I wanted to buy this thing, right?
Right.
Also, a little confusing because I'm like, is it when I saw it here, I was like, is it two covers? No, it's a wraparound cover, but like, when looking at it here, well, of course, if
Right.
it's
You
split
just
in the middle,
yeah.
they moved the logo over.
Funny story. The X Force Omnibus that came out has this in it, the original coloring. Okay. But the X Force Omnibus before, the one that's at less pages, had a shitty scan of this. Like someone just took the comic, scanned it, didn't even line it up. You can see the white border around it. I'm like, what is this garbage? Way to
Well,
go, Marvel.
just looking at this, like you're going to crop out the Magnola signature. Magnola
That's a
signature
bit
is not there.
that's a bad move.
They zoomed in. They zoomed in, and you're losing Domino arm. What are you zooming in for?
Yeah, go back to the original. Like, I guess it's better to keep Cannonball's head than Domino's arm. I guess it's just maybe I don't know. Would you rather have a white border around a cover like this? Or would you rather, because the cover goes all the way to the ends. But
You can do a couple things. You can letterbox it.
yeah,
Letterbox it.
letterbox it to get all the art in and get the proper creative name in. I'd rather see a letterbox than it be cut off.
Yeah,
You know, it's like remember that when they would make widescreens out of TV shows that were never meant to be widescreen?
yeah.
They
Oh crap. I just saw something on I don't know. I saved it. I don't know if I sent it to you. Someone did an Instagram where they were uh I don't know if it's maybe AI where they're framing scenes that and then
yeah.
they have more up and down, vertical something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I gotta see if I can find it. I think I
that's
saved
neat.
it. Yeah, I'll have to see because I just saved it. When you save someone on Instagram, then like the next 3 days you'll see nothing but their posts for a bit, and that's fine.
All right.
Hopefully, then you like them, they go back in the algorithm. But even if you paid the colorist that I think retouch this or recolor it, I think you're right because Farrell seems a lot darker. Shadowstar's hair is not as bold. Um,
Yeah. Well,
you
the whole
just
idea of
you
the
can just
image,
you can
the
just
hidden gems is to
go off.
recolor it. So I guess they
Yeah,
found the original art, or at least a scan to it.
yeah. It's a pre-Hellboy. It's a pre-Hellboy.
No,
So here
Magnolia,
you could buy it for $45,
not bad.
Midtown, 10% off. As I was looking through, somehow this popped up. I don't know what these things are. I don't know what these things are. So I need to dig around
It's a
a little bit and find these. Buy it now for $25. Okay.
Barrington Smith Archives. All right, that's neat.
Yeah, but I know that when I looked in, one of these has the title page. No original art, no pictures of the interiors, right? Both Dark Horse. So I don't know if they just did two and then they didn't do any more. I want to say that's correct. I think they only did two of these and then that's it. May 2010. But I can get both of them for $50 possibly. But I want to see you colored it because when I looked at it, they had a paragraph of colors, man. And if these
Oh,
are going to be the same coloring as the Chronicles, I don't like the Chronicles coloring, so maybe I don't get these. There's literally Chronicles again for the first handful of issues, but I'm almost curious about what's volume two because if volume two is some of his Conan Savage Sword stuff later, who colored that? Like, you know what I mean? Like some of the stuff
yeah,
might not have been colored before, so maybe it's colored here. I don't know. Interesting, but
interesting.
again, eBay is trying to be like, hey, you want to look at this? So it's kind of
I
a
know,
thing.
I know.
$80 here, eighty
Eat it up.
dollars. You get 20% off, and then so I just showed you this, but look at 29 bids on this time slide.
Yeah, and
29.
it's not even over till Wednesday. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been going roughly for 150 for the Liefeld variant for Time Slide.
Yeah. So I wonder if down here it says $50 down here, and it's like I wonder if that's one of those. I don't know.
I know Liefeld did his Whatnot show, and he was I didn't watch it last night, but he was selling he went and bought Time Slides for $150 a piece to sign them or grade them or resell them, and they'll probably go for like because you know what, the only way you're getting Liefeld to sign a Time Slide is by buying
Selling
one
through
from him on
his
Whatnot.
whatnot. Yeah, his
Yeah,
through store. Sure, sure.
so
Yeah, that's fine. Listen, take it back. Listen, it's your art. That is it a thing that he would make money off the hidden gems or no? He already made that money, so they're not going to give him more money for that.
um,
Do they have to give him a cover rate?
yeah, I think they do. It's no different than a reprint. And I
Hmm.
know he gets comps. He definitely get comps of it. So if you're getting comps, you should be getting paid for it. That's your art. They're reusing your art to sell a new book. So
Yeah,
and his contract's probably tighter than anyone else's. That's for damn sure.
yeah,
Liefeld, yeah, he's a lucky guy. He had the talent to begin with, and then he had the brains because that Deadpool. I wonder who else has got Deadpool deal like that. Like is somebody like is the Bishop deal that good? Is the Dark Hawk or
yeah.
Yeah, Darkhawk. Do they all have good deals and just Deadpool's the one to really take Deadpool and Keeble both? You know, who else? Uh, Sleepwalker. I almost called him Sleepyhead. Like, what's the
Bob
Sleepwalker deal?
Budiansky. I don't know, but I feel
This
like Sleeper comes back here and there, and
he
it's
does
not.
come
But
back.
it's never going to have
But if
the
Sleepwalker ever broke out big, does Budiansky have a good deal because he created a character for Marvel?
right. Or it could be a thing like what you talked about, just talk about Poison Ivy is like, or if you put out, you're only going to sell, say, 20,000 copies as compared to like 200,000 copies of Deadpool. You're selling 20,000 copies of a Sleepwalker mini that's going to sell just enough, put out an okay collection with four
Yeah.
covers on the page. You know what I mean? Like the Beater Bill collection. It's like, um, I don't know, I don't know,
All
but
right. So the
can
Cable
we
book itself. Oh, what?
can we just not have a dystopian future like the second Lego movie did this. You just can't have a dystopian future unless you're a Mad Max. And this is literally what they do with Mad Max in the beginning of Fury Road. You throw him on the front of a warhog and you push him out in the dead. Come on
It
now.
is.
It's a little
It
bit
is
lazy.
super treaded area. I would never do. Just. I can make this promise now. In all the comics I'm going to write, there's no dystopian future in any of them. Not like, especially not like a Road Warrior, you know, Nightmare. Oh, Nightmare. Remember we were talking about Zack Snyder's post Justice League?
Yeah,
Wasn't it
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Nightmare universe?
Nightmare Universe. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah,
You know
I'm
what?
just
Like, there's more to
not
the
doing
world
it.
than desert.
Desert.
Now, mind you, Australia, where George Miller filmed that movie, is like 80% desert. The middle of
That's
that
where he lived,
country.
and he had no money, and they just like put together some half
Yeah,
okay cars. That's
yeah,
it. And
that's
had
it.
and ran. You can't do those stunts today because they're completely illegal. They're beyond illegal. Like so that's why like when you go and say like, oh, there's no CG in there's a lot of CG in Fury Road, but
There
that's so
is.
people are alive. Okay, you see, because you can't have these flames going so close to these people.
Yeah,
So it's fine. You know what I
it's
mean?
it's super practical, but it is enhanced.
So I just, yeah, I don't know. And this was a similar, I like this effect a lot. I think
Yes, this is cool.
I think that's great. I think the coloring is good. This is a few different people. Who is this? This is Pipos and what's his name? Mike Henderson and Arif Prianto. So I think the team is really good. The production's really good. I
Love and
guess
Chrome, because it
my,
was Blood and Metal, right? The
yeah, Blood
Romita
and
series,
Metal.
Blood and Metal. This is Love and Chrome.
I guess my only issue with this is a few things. Everything
My
is
only issue is a
is
few things.
zoomed. My only issue is a few things. That should be the name
My
of
favorite thing is 100 things.
I just don't know. I like this. This is my kind of my I like all this kind of continuity stuff here. Okay.
Yes.
You have Executioner. Um, you got the techno organic virus.
Mhm.
You have that's X Factor. X Factor when he's leaving there.
Oh, what, as the baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Portaccio drawn.
Yeah. But here's the thing. This is a terrible introduction. I know we already sneak peeked this introduction.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
who this is her introduction. This is it. This angle. Like this could be like you know what this could have been very easily. come. It's a future person, right? You
Yeah.
come with me if you want to live. It's right there. Come with me if you, or some variation of that. I'm
Hmm.
saving you. Come on now. Let's go. Easy there, cowboy. But all right, it's fine. I just think look, this is supposed to be his new love, yeah?
Yes.
It's just an awkward. Is she pulling him up? What is happening right here? It's
She
even the
yeah, she
wrong
wouldn't
hand.
have she wouldn't have that strength,
It's the wrong.
the
Well,
bionic arm.
it
Well, I mean, it's
it's
still attached to a human body. You know what? I know they fall in love because they got bionic arms, but maybe she should have had like a bionic leg. I think it would have been better.
I just yeah, and it's weird because I hate like the last guy who did it, which was like the Deadpool, the Cable Deadpool like art ish in the time slide one shot had a very different bionic arm. I understand they're not going to be all the same bionic arm. I got that. Even issue to issue, they were a bit different from Liefeld, but that's okay because that he can do whatever he wants. He's the creator of it. Different costume. He wants a plus or minus it. There's even some where it's like being worked on. Great. It's a
Yeah.
constant. Yeah. um, I just okay. There's actually got a good silhouette at the bottom. So this guy is very capable. I want to say he did something with Jason Aaron. Does that sound right? Is that Sea of Stars? I feel like there's a book
Oh,
he did.
yeah,
He
maybe
did a mini.
him and Dennis Hopeless, who
I think that's right.
not his real name.
Dennis Hallam, Dennis Hopeless.
Yeah.
Um,
Here's a
yeah.
clue, people. Use your real name.
Look at
Use your real name.
this. But see, like this guy's capable of this.
Yeah.
Like, look, like here we got the good silhouette in the bottom. Here we have a
Yeah.
good silhouette in the bottom panel, right?
Yeah.
Silhouette, some effects. I imagine he's drawing on in some digital stuff, but like, look at how cool this like makeshift gun thing is. This cannon, just like
Yeah.
awesome.
It's neat.
Yeah, like
It's
I
neat.
just
And
feel,
the whole it's that
yeah,
James Harren, style of like messiness. Like I love the arm in the other page.
yeah. It's
It's cool
yeah.
looking. It's
It's
everything.
falling
Everything has
apart,
it's falling apart. You can see it has weight. Yeah, it's just a mess. But we're not even we're amazed it even got one shot out.
right? Yeah, I don't know. It's almost there, but like, look, this is the last page. This is the finale page. It's like zoom in. There's a different angle. The guy should have been phone called. The editor should have been like, uh, that last page, if we maybe draw him 3 times the size of that,
No, you know
four
what?
times the size of
This
that.
should be the second to the last page where he goes, "Cause after everything you cost me," and the last page should be like his head saying, "I'm gonna wipe you from the pages of history," like a big
Right,
Kirkman, or you don't need a crystal ball to predict the obvious style. There's
right.
a
Yeah,
cooler Marvel. No, you will never see a full page headshot in a Marvel comic.
it should be, or you do the stripe reveal. You can do a half
That's
body
exactly
shot.
what that's
Yeah,
that's that's what that
exactly
line
right.
is.
Yeah. Oh, I
You
see. Right.
know, you don't need a crystal ball to predict the obvious. Something like we don't know who this guy is. Could be any number of people. Who it is. It's Tank. It's Tank from X Force because we don't know who Tank is, right?
That's right.
Skinny Tank, little Tank, mini Tank,
Yeah, but Skank is Skank.
Skank. Whoa.
But Tank is he's jolly. That's the thing. That's the dichotomy of Tank. That he's a
Listen,
jolly
this
character.
4,000 years in the future, man. He could have had a bad day. One bad day.
Do I need this to be somebody though?
No,
Do we
you
really
don't need
need
to
this
be
to be
someone,
somebody?
but
I know.
you want
It's
it to be
going to
because
be.
that's the way a comic is. It could be, and it could be anyone. It could be a woman in that suit.
Oh
That's
crap.
how Marvel does that stuff.
Aren't they switching Kang out? Listen,
Yeah, for Murden.
yeah, Jonathan Majors is dismissed. Won't even say he's innocent, cancel whatever. I think we're not Marvel continuity is not people aren't reading Marvel books, comics and going like Jonathan Majors threw that lady around.
No.
Like no one cares. If you do a
Here's why,
Kang
Mark.
story in this, it's just like
So, a news non-news article. They're changing Kang from an upcoming storyline to this other character, Murden. I think the name is. And that's stupid. Like Kang's still an incredible Marvel villain. Like the comics shouldn't always reflect the movies. It's great to take some ideas from the movies if they work better. Tony Stark being funny works better. So let's make Tony Stark funny in the comics. Thor's a little full of himself in the movies and a little bit funny dumb. Well, we can do that in the comic. Some ideas are worth
right.
taking.
Mhm.
Um, like getting rid of a character because the actor has problems. No, unless unless the movie studios say we're going to use Kang 10 years from now. Let's start down a path of rebuilding Kang to a better character. And that might be a thing. We might see Kang the next phase of Marvel, 10 phases from now, it doesn't matter. Don't waste that villain.
Yeah,
But right now, he's a joke. He's a joke of a character. He's a joke of a character. He got beat in a fist fight by Scott Lang. That shouldn't have
that
happened.
was Kang 1.
Doesn't matter.
Kang 0.
I thought Kang Zero would have been the one at the end of Loki, or or when he was just
That's
the
Kang
regular
negative
guy.
1. Yeah,
Well, you'd be
Victor
negative
Timely.
too. Well, you'd be negative too if you kept having to deal with these shitty Kangs. See, Scott Lang should have tricked Kang. He
Mhm.
shouldn't have beat him in a bare knuckle brawl. Like Scott Lang is he in his comics he was a con man. He's smart.
Yeah,
He should have outsmarted him, not punched him.
I feel that that ending is wrong. I feel like Scott Lang should have. I thought he was supposed to stay there and guard it. I feel like that's what should have happened, and I feel
And
like
that would have led to something more interesting in the Kang Dynasty movie.
right.
But since we didn't get the Kang
He could
Dynasty
have a
movie,
beard. You know what I mean? He could have a beard.
oh yeah, he could be like
You know?
Tom Hanks Castaway, like when he comes back.
Right. You could
Okay,
just have a reveal of that because I feel like that would have been better. You've freed some of it. I feel like it's a curse. I feel like that they should have that as an ongoing curse. Someone has to be down there in the microverse, whatever it's called. Right.
yeah, it's like a rush.
Okay. Here his is very late. Okay, so we have two books this week. One is on time and one is late, meaning movie continuity wise, right? This is late. This is late. This is
This
a
is
year
late,
late.
but I give
Good.
this book a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Look at this. This cover is like so Steve Scrose esque. Like that's what I feel like he's trying to
Oh, yeah.
emulate here.
I got some Lionel Francis U vibes. You got the
This
I
artist is.
guess
I really like this artist.
he did the X Factor for Krakoa. Does that sound right?
Okay,
Uh yeah, Joshua Cassara. Here we go. I had to throw that in.
it's as I smile, I say, it's better to have new Frank Miller than no Frank Miller.
I don't know about that. This is and is Alex Sinclair? Sink.
I wouldn't get Sinclair to color your Frank Miller.
Well, he's not doing it wrong. You know what I mean? He's doing it flat. He's doing and there's a later one. I don't know who did the Hulk one we already looked at in the news earlier in the week.
Right.
But there is one I have. I have the what if one coming up. The what if dot 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 question mark again. Um and the slash is weird. It's like a feather. Slash is weird. I'll have to try to throw a better res of that, but I couldn't find a good res of this. Here's okay. So this is what I talked about earlier when I was talking about placement. We talked about that DC
Previous
book,
World
right?
usually has Previous World is usually the best.
Okay. Why is this size? You should just make this like okay, you moved it over here because you got Deadpool's head. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have it up and over. This is a great cover, right? Number one. I like the number ones are big. The Cable had a big number one
Mm-hmm.
like that too. Cool. Number one. Number one should be big. This is all you need. That's it.
Right.
And then you have it up here. You have like you don't need just put the other number one up. Put the very additional. You have room. You got plenty of room. You could make this Deadpool Wolverine twice the size. You could even bleed it behind a little bit of Deadpool. You can bleed it behind the sword hilt. Um, also, Marvel. How is this not a red band book? What are you talking about? You created this new gimmick for Blood Hunt where you have regular issues come out that have
Mm-hmm.
some violence in it. Then you have like a red band version of it, right? Is that what's called red band? I don't know what it's called. Um, but then you have like a red band version of it where you have extra violence. This had a ton of really bloody violence, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Just leave it.
Listen, this should be a rated R comic. It's right in line with the movie. Everything about this comic feels like the movie.
Yeah, it does. So it just like, and again, it's and this is what Ben Percy should lean into. That's good. So yeah, you have this guy who can do gore, who can do some blood. The storytelling's good. I'm
There's
so
detail. Look at this bar.
I'm just exhausted. I'm exhausted with Wolverine in a bar. It's so boring. It's the same.
No, you know what it is? Don't
Been
even
same
think
since
about it.
X-Men 1.
Nope. Don't think about it. It's just Wolverine in a bar. You're like, yeah, where else you gonna put him? Put him in a bar. He loves to drink. It's hard for him to get drunk. He's got to spend a lot of time in that bar. Um, I know what you're saying. It's the same thing, but like, it's almost like part of his character. He
Like
goes
the
from town to
lighting on
town.
this.
Yeah, looks neat.
You got the you got the like the blue lights coming up. I think it's really good. Oh, speaking of which,
Plus, like the plane looks cool. Like that's a good undershot of a
yeah.
single prop plane.
I mean, you listen, your job is different. You're out in the world delivering stuff, but my eyes have been killing me. I need to go to the eye doctor soon, but I did order some like blue blocker glasses. I went out yesterday to try to find some. I couldn't really find them. I feel like I used to see them
Let
in
me
like
let me
Marshalls
let
and
me
stuff
know if
like
they
that.
work
I got these crazy
because
ones. I got these really expensive ones that like they were on sale at Amazon, and they're like it said something about them being good for sleep too. Like it has something else. I don't know. It had a bunch of stuff in it, but yeah, I'll let you know
yeah,
for sure,
because
for sure.
like I do spend a decent amount of time on a computer, like between like all my scanning and digital comment collecting, and then doing this show.
Yeah.
Doing the show is killing my eyes.
Right. Yeah, because I'm making it real. You got to read these books. Got to read these books.
Well, no, I
Um.
would have read the books anyway.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
reading the books don't bother me.
No, I
Um,
like that we have the show because it basically makes me want to. I mean, you'll see in the doc, like I have like the next like week or 2 weeks of books in there. What I'm thinking we should read. You know what I mean? I'm looking at it,
yeah,
looking at the shipping schedules, and but yeah, just this is Kasara Aiken himself too. But yeah, the lighting on this
it
is really
works.
good. I think up
Aiken
and
himself,
down
dude.
really well. Yeah, I zoomed on this because like, look, I like the lighting pushed up. This looks like a couple different people. It looks like Lena Francis Yu. I do like that. It could be this could be some digital art, but listen, man, this guy's pretty cool.
How much work was involved in doing that
Look at
chin?
look at how this focus. Oh man, that
Um,
face looks like
I'll tell you
somebody.
what.
I can't think who that looks like. That looks like somebody.
I tell you
But
what. Kind of enjoying this better than like Wolverine Revenge.
yes, this is exactly. First off, I have no idea why Wolverine Revenge. Look, that should have been an E. The first issue I thought was really good. The second issue was okay. And then where is it? And that
Well,
had a red band
we got
thing.
a third issue,
Did we? I guess it's so forgettable. Nothing happened. I don't
right?
remember.
He kills Colossus.
Should be done.
Spoiler.
It should be done.
In fact, didn't we talk about it on the show?
Should be done and traded. It's
I
not that
think
memorable. It should be done
did.
and traded.
No, we reviewed it on the show, Mark.
Nah, I missed it. I don't know. I don't
I
remember.
missed it. I blocked that part of
I
my memory
blocked it.
out.
All right, here we go. So
Uh,
this one is on. This one's late, and this would have sold because again, when Deadpool Wolverine made $1 billion, right?
yeah.
People go into comic stores like, "Oh, do you have any Deadpool comics or Wolverine comics?" Oh, I happen to have this book, which is as violent in the same exact tone and blood and irreverence. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Look at that.
If
And
we
see
have the shop,
that
here
last
you go.
panel is the reason why McFarlane couldn't do that. He left Marvel Comics.
Right. There's no this isn't in a bag. Right, exactly. It's not it's what but didn't they print that? No, they printed it in trades and stuff, right? Didn't they print like it they showed it
Yeah,
later?
it's in. Did
It's
they
not in
put it?
Marvel Age. They put it in Marvel Age? I feel like they put it in Marvel Age.
I feel like it's in Marvel Age, but I don't think it is.
It's so dumb.
It's in the new X Force omnibus.
It is, yeah. Yeah. But did he redraw it or did someone redraw it?
He redrew it. He goes, "Here you
He
go, and
redrew it.
don't ever call me again." Like basically,
Yeah. I'm
hey,
quitting. I'm out.
hey, bud,
Hey
don't
there,
ever
bud.
call me.
I'm
Hey,
out.
um,
Uh so this book's late. This book
good. Go back again.
technically,
Are we not spoiling who the villain is?
I am not supposed to go on this. I'll leave it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's spoiled. You know what? I hate that it was spoiled on Bleeding Cool. Like, oh, such and such and such, and we're like, all right, could you shut up, Bleeding Cool? Like,
Yeah.
stop talking about comics that come out next week.
Yeah, they
Stop.
did it with Batman Liz, and I didn't click on it.
Not
But
a click on you. It's like, oh, what's Thomas Wayne's life or something? Like,
yeah,
shut
yeah,
up.
they're like, oh, they said what they said was, that's not, yeah, it's not true or whatever. But also, here's a question going back to the Batman, which infuriates me as I get all upset as usual.
You are.
Um, whose dream was that? It was even the week that came out. Whose dream was that? Was that Bruce Wayne's dream that he walked in and his mom, or that's him having a hallucination of what he thinks the continuity might be? I guess that's right. I guess I just
Uh,
answered it, but like because there's that he was philandering, blah 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 blah.
yeah.
Again, but so he created the dream, and I already answered it. I
Um,
apologize.
but like the character who shows up in this, we're so weird because we spoil half the things and don't spoil the other half.
Yeah.
But
All right.
we
Well, who's
talked
the
about him.
character? Yeah.
We talked about that character last week in Time Slide because his name was listed on the board spelled wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Strife with
all
a
right,
Y.
it's Strife.
Strife.
Strife with a Y. Guess
Strife
what?
with a Y.
Strife has always been a really cool villain
It's always been with
who
a
like
Y. So we feel that they mistyped it. But again, no editors, barely any editors in Marvel, or they don't pay them. We could edit it. We're busy, but we could easily kind of run through these and go,
I think I know you couldn't afford to be a Marvel editor, but I feel like the passion that we have for comics, I feel like you could do the job of two editors because we have the passion.
I just
And
be
then
I'll be QC, baby. I'll be quality control,
you,
QC, or I could just make nice recommendations. So
you can get the
the Capullo cover, I go, hey, you know what we could do? Zoom it in, blah blah blah. I feel like there used to be a guy like that. What I mean, I'll be that guy. I'll be that guy.
well, it was Jim Shooter.
Right,
He had his hands in all the pies.
right. I don't think I can go right to editor in chief though. Just saying.
No.
Okay, so this
Okay.
book is on time, technically. Technically on time.
Who did this cover?
Oh look what I did. It's a weird. Listen. If I was a Marvel editor, I'd go, hey, I know this is digitally drawn. Yeah, maybe, maybe just I don't know. Maybe just shave it. Maybe angle it a little bit. Maybe have him rest it out that way. You know what I mean? Like it looks a little weird. But look like so. Just keep that in mind. Look at it and look at it. Look away. Look back. Now you can't see that he doesn't have this giant like midsection and that big abdomen,
That's his
right?
Wayne. It's like
No shoulders.
he's been reading a lot of Wayne Boring
Yeah.
Superman books.
Yeah, but Wayne Boring had better shoulders. His shoulders suck. Look at
Because
these shoulders. They're awful.
Wayne Boring was a real artist before he was a comic artist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's an okay.
Torrin Clark.
It's
Yeah.
just the cover, just the cover.
Yeah, it's Torrin Clark, which is and technically, again, I like it. It's I do like it. I think Patriot's perfect. I think now at the bottom, I think that, the War Machine Storm situation. But now, and we didn't really talk about this because we haven't looked at the last handful of Straczynski's because they've been so flat and boring
I read them
and
all,
just dumb.
and I didn't know it was canceled, so I read the
I
last
didn't
issue.
know. I didn't realize it was canceled. This is now the legacy. Listen, they've already had one or two Sam Wilson Captain America book, two, and they both didn't do well, and they both were canceled. So basically, or they've revert back to. So it's only a matter of
My
time.
my hope, Mark, is that at the end of the Captain America movie, he realizes he's not Captain America, but he's more than the Falcon. Well, first off, don't ever shit on the Falcon. The Falcon's an awesome character, but
Absolutely not. We're not. I'm not doing that at all. You're correct, 100%.
he's like, you know
There
what? I
was a
just
reason why it was Captain America and Falcon because he was a great character. Did Gene
yeah,
Colan technically create Falcon? Does that sound right?
maybe I
I
don't
feel
know.
like the first appearance was Gene Colan.
It was cool enough for Jack Kirby to keep him like as a
Yeah,
main character in the book. And
yeah,
I never
ton
will
with
shit
him.
on
Did a
that.
ton.
But I don't think he wants to be Captain America. I think if I were Sam Wilson, I'd be like, this is too much. I
Well,
can do the job, but
yeah,
I'm not my best friend.
can
You know what I
do
mean?
the
What if I'm like,
job.
I want to be the new Mark Leone? I don't want to be the new Mark Leone. Like I'm happy being Rob Messi. Like
Correct.
he should be happy being the Falcon. Why would you want to be someone else? You
Uh,
know,
yeah,
if
I just and also if it's a legacy thing, it should be. Listen, the
no,
end game scene
nobody should be Captain
is
America
excellent.
unless Captain America's dead. You could be Lieutenant America. You could be Corporate America. You know what I mean?
You'd be
Corporate
corporate
America. Oh my
America.
God.
I
Oh
love
my
that.
God. What a great villain. Who's
Oh man,
who's a better villain in
like
real life
for
than
Captain
Corporate
America than
America?
corporate America.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the
So
best. We should totally
yeah,
do something with that with corporate America. Awestruck Comics Corporate America special.
yeah, right. Um,
We could talk about KPIs. We could talk about the crap I talk about half the
yeah,
week,
all your
where I'm like, we didn't gotta get this percentage up and make sure we have the call queues. Like, holy mackerel.
I love talking that
uh,
the housing the mortgage crisis with you after I watched
the
what
Big
was that
Short.
movie? The Big Short, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like, and you're like, yeah, Rob, this is real. I'm like, well, I assume it's real, but you live
yeah,
it. You're
yeah. It's every day. Every day. It's a little wacky, a little different. And you have a little bit of it because like the way your bank's trying to just have you escrow, just
oh
be
yeah.
like
My
they're
bank wants me
messing
to
with you.
they want me to escrow so badly. And I just refuse to do it. I just like, nope, I'll pay my
Right.
own homeowner's
Because
insurance, I'll pay my own taxes.
nah, we want your money.
They
It's going
do.
to go in a tax free for you. You don't get anything.
I
I'm
don't
going
get
to put it
anything.
over here.
They get interest.
I'm going to put interest. Yeah. But then we
They
can't
get
say that we get interest, but we'll hide it somewhere else or something. I don't know.
yeah,
There's tons of money involved
it's
in
a
it. The
total
servicing
scam, dude.
loans. Yes. So
This
anyway,
country, as people are gonna start labeling me a communist, has so much money. Like we shouldn't have any problems,
Mm.
but we do. We do. It's insane. I'm not a communist, by the way. Our friend Ian is. He he
Maybe we
he
shouldn't throw
he
around.
leans. He leans. We're not throwing him under a bus. He's
Uh,
labeled proudly.
yeah,
He's a proud
He'll do it
Marxist.
himself quickly.
Uh, so
Um,
anyway, back to Captain America.
yeah, you got the literal Falcon on here. You literally got
We have a
Redbird.
Falcon.
Yeah,
Um,
Redbird right there, baby. Uh, I almost feel like it's two different. It's weird. I almost feel like the first couple of pages are like a different artist. You know what I mean?
who's that
Like it
remind you
feels.
of? Does it remind you of like a
Like I don't know. I felt like it was like a bit of like
no?
Cully Hamner,
No, there's a.
John,
It's a
like
'90s Wildstorm artist for sure. I'm thinking of like a Norton or
Ryan
a
Benjamin, Ryan
yeah Ryan
Algadawa.
Benjamin. Yeah, no, not Ryan Benjamin. Adagawa maybe.
Yeah,
There's something there. Just the way his body. It's a good body, good shape. Everything's cool.
it's great body,
Um,
bro.
probably.
It's weird, like because so even from here to here, I guess that's the same-ish. It seems like
Well,
this
one's
is a
more
lot
armorish, one's more
simpler.
muscles.
Yeah, I like those. Do we need the knee pads? Do we need the like
Listen,
the
man,
metal
times are
knee
hard.
pads? I
I
don't know,
mean,
man.
listen,
Look how
he's
good the Patriot. Who did that? Jim Chung. You're never going to change that. You're never changing that.
no, that's it's simplicity and it works
That's
out
a
great.
great costume, and it's never been changed. It's never going to change. I feel like that's a that you're never going to change. This has been changed a handful of times. The first one was Stuart Immonen, I suppose, is that's probably the first, and that's this is close too. But here it looks like he almost has like glasses on. Like I don't know. I don't know. We talked a little bit about this, and I guess the biggest issue we had with this, it seemed very it was trying to be so insular with things it excluded, right? I would
Yes,
say that's
yeah,
the best way to describe this. So we're in Harlem, okay?
hmm
We're at like a soup shelter, right? I
right.
don't know who Evan Narcissus is. I was going to look up to see if he's African American. We know because we've talked about how Greg Pak, every issue of Greg Pak, uh, after a certain point, they would just give him, you're getting the Asian book, you're getting, you're going to get Shang-Chi, right? Like they just say, here you go, Marcus Toe, you're getting Shang-Chi because here you go. Like they
It's
would
like
just,
they're
it's
scared for other people to like people who can write. They're scared to give it to them.
who's the best Luke Cage writer? Who's the best Luke Cage writer?
Uh, Brian Azzarello.
Tony Isabella,
I know. I was thinking
right?
modern, but
But
yeah, no,
still,
the original, yeah, Tony
yeah,
Isabella.
or Brian Azzarello, who's from Chicago, right? Who's a white guy from Chicago, who's in a bar, he's bald.
Right.
He's
Um,
right now. That's probably where he is.
so
Like
and
so,
sometimes Bendis.
yeah.
Bendis loved him, and
A lot of
sometimes
times
he
Bendis, yes, a lot. I would say a lot. Yeah, I would say that's modern day Luke Cage is Bendis, correct? Azzarello on the mini and Isabella besides.
these are mostly white guys who just
3 out of 4. Yeah, because I would say like Dwayne McDuffie, for some of the Cage stuff, like I don't know, but or Don McGregor, like
yeah, it is like
Don McGregor's a white guy.
you shouldn't think like that. I mean, I get it if you want to try to honor people when I think Dwayne McDuffie, I never think of him as a black writer. I just think of him as an incredible writer. His Fantastic Four
Oh
run was
yeah,
great. His
we
Justice
love
League
that.
stuff's great.
Well,
Like,
his gig for a while was I'm going to do I'm doing a no stakes couple issues before someone else takes it over because he did that on FF and he did it on Justice League, right? And both of
yeah,
those storylines were great.
yeah, and they wouldn't let him use any of the good characters in Justice League. Because they were all in other stories. Like, can I use
Right,
Hawkman? No. Can I use Superman? No. You know what I mean? Like they were just giving him crap.
right,
But
right,
he
right.
was so talented, and I love, you know, I'm gonna tell the story because I figured it out myself right away. Keegan Michael Key was on the Pete Holmes podcast, and he's
Mm.
telling me, "Oh yeah," and I found out, like he didn't really grow up with his dad. He was raised by, I think, a white family. He was adopted, and he was talking about he finally found his real dad. I think by the time I don't know if his dad was passed, but he found out he had a half brother, and the half brother had just passed. He goes, "I didn't really know him that well. I know he was a really important African comic creator, African American comic creator, and he did animation work."
Oh
And I
yeah,
went, I'm like, Dwayne McDuffie's Keegan
yeah,
Michael
that's
Key's
right.
half brother.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, I've never heard him talk about it. And I ran into a Mad TV guy who did Green Lantern's voice on Justice League. He was Phil Lamar. I ran into Phil
Lamar.
Lamar at a convention before I knew this, because Phil Lamar worked with Dwayne McDuffie on Justice League, so he
Mm.
knew him. He was friendly with him, talked about him, but also he worked with Keegan Michael Key briefly on Mad TV. They passed like ships in the night,
Oh,
you
that's
know.
right. I always forget that Phil Lamar because Phil Lamar, his career post is larger than
Yes,
his comedy career,
it's like
basically,
Mad
right?
TV and Pulp Fiction. which is like hilarious, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so so yeah, that's just, and I've never heard
Wow.
anyone
Yeah,
like,
that's
I've
like
heard
three
people interview
very
Phil Lamar, and I'm like, how come nobody does Phil Lamar know? He's got to know by now.
right.
Like
Yeah.
like I would love to be the person to tell him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I
Because
love,
it probably wouldn't be something that is out of circle talked about. You know what I mean? Like out
yeah,
of circle, out of comic circle, out of all of it. But Phil Lamar is, I mean, he does a lot of conventions and stuff. So
he does. Like I was talking to Eric Larson, and he walked right up to me and Eric Larson. We were just bullshitting for like 10 minutes.
that's awesome.
You know, I was telling him I was a UPS driver and how funny UPS drivers think his UPS character on Mad TV was. You
Oh
know,
yeah, gosh, the YouTube some of that stuff. I haven't seen that stuff in forever.
Mad TV, man.
Is there no Mad TV? Who has the rights to that thing? I don't think that's on anything, streaming or nothing.
I don't know. You know that Mad cartoon wasn't bad that Cartoon Network did probably 10
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah.
Because my girls and I, my daughters actually watched that and they liked that show. It was
They had
just
Spy
wacky and
versus
weird
Spy
enough.
stuff, right? They had Spy versus Spy minis
They had that
on
too,
that.
yeah.
Hmm.
They would animate like the old Don Martin stuff and just do weird things,
Yeah.
parody. It was good.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
good.
So back to Captain America.
Oh, I put this. There's the Wills
Ah, look at
Frataccio,
that.
which is this is the least Wills Frataccio drawing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's all
It's
there
weird.
though.
It is, yeah, but it's weird. Like it's too skinny. Like I don't know. It feels odd to me.
It's like, yeah, you look at if you look at the bottom half, you're like, look at those legs. That's all pure Will's Portaccio. Then yeah, I don't know. It's
It's
still
okay.
cool.
Yeah,
It's still cool. And you know what? Any new Will's Portaccio is welcome. I
yeah.
don't know the last full comic he did. It'd be a tragedy. Like
Did he
he
do
did
a
one issue
Bishop?
of Major X that was like fantastic.
Yeah, I thought he did the last Bishop series. No, did he not draw that?
He did do the Bishop series,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Did that
They
start
have
off as
they have
X-Men
two
Legends?
Bishop series like together. Oh yeah, I think it might have been in one issue. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of is that he did an issue of X-Men Legends. But yeah, I feel like I want to say maybe I missed it. I want to say that he did an Iron Man a variant of the Iron Man one that just came out. So
Good.
um so I hate this. Okay, so Cap's just hanging around Harlem and so this is what we were kind of confused at. All right, so he's okay. So and this is a Marvel problem. We've talked about this a couple times. There's two Spider-Man. Miles
Right.
Spider-Man. You can't say Miles Morales Spider-Man. Can't say
No,
that on the
because
street because
no, you can't say that on the
there
street.
you go. So, but you're not going to
It's
call
Spider-Man. Here's what it should be. It should be Spider-Man, but he's got two M's in man, which means Miles Morales.
Spider-Man, but you don't have this problem with Spider Gwen. Remember, Spider like she's Ghost Spider now, but it's now sinking in that that's it.
Yeah.
But for a while, it would just be like everyone just kind of like slang it. Oh, it's Spider
I think
Gwen.
she was Spider-Woman on her world.
Yeah, but they don't want to do that, and that's fine. Create
No,
another
they
thing.
shouldn't. No, Ghost Spider's fine.
X-23 should be X-23. She shouldn't be Wolverine.
She shouldn't be Wolverine.
Should be Laura Kinney Wolverine. Again, what are you going to say on the street? Excuse me, Laura Kinney Wolverine. You're not doing that. She's
They
Wolverine and
they
Wolverine.
tried to call her Talon.
That's terrible. First off, I don't think you should do. Well, Talon was.
It's already been used multiple places. It's already a
Yeah,
name.
yeah, and I wonder if
Also,
DC technically has the copyright on it because DC had a Talon miniseries or a Talon series in Court of Owls spinoff Batman.
they should have just found another animal. Like they call a
Fang, call her Fang, like which is technically give her like the Fangish costume, give her the Cockrum costume, which is kind of
because
a Legion costume, which
X20,
is
we'll call her X24, like the smaller version of her, Gabby.
yeah,
I think she's called like Honey Badger, which is
yeah,
a vicious animal, as vicious as a Wolverine.
it's funny, yeah,
You know,
that's good,
it
it's
is
creative,
funny.
yeah,
So
but I
you
just
should have found something else like that for her.
right,
Calling her Wolverine as well. You know, listen, I love legacy characters, but at Marvel, you should be legacy with a different name or a change on the name. You know,
yeah, but JSA
like don't call
have
her
been
Wolver.
legacy characters, and it's if there's an extra one, it's only because they were in another dimension. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you have Alan Scott Green Lantern, it's only because he was on another.
Well, because
He was in hell.
the way you got to look at
He
it
was
is
with
there was a period
Ragnarok.
of time where there was no Green Lantern. So, like, if you want to say Earth, so if the Justice Society existed in a world, they probably went away in the 50s or whatever. So, in the 60s, you could rebrand it. So now they come back, and it's cool because there was a period of time missing. But it'd be different if like Alan Scott was active all the time, and then the new Green Lantern happens. It's like, well, he's still there, but
Yeah,
that's not the way. And it just legacy works better at DC but Marvel needs to work on their legacy and just not do it the same way. There's can't be two Captain Americas, two Spider-Man, two whatever. Like you call him Red Hulk, right? You don't call him Hulk.
Right.
I mean, you can't. I mean,
Red Hulk. Um, listen,
like if they called him Falcap, I would be fine with that. Like his nickname almost should be his real name.
right. And I don't know if that's a nickname that we have or everyone has. I just want to go to this page real fast because again, uh, would it be horrible for this guy to draw and write Uptown Mercy Mutual Aid? Like that's such a bad computer lettering on that. So flat. It's like Comic Sans italics.
Yeah.
Blah. Um, if I'm being picked up by a vampire, I don't think I would say you don't know what kind of trouble you're getting into. Like you, I don't even really believe that this vampire would say as much as he's saying. No one cares about like what are you talking
No,
about?
they're
Like
trying to feed and live. They
he's
would attack.
smiling. If this terrifying thing is falling, coming down, right? You should be frightened. You're not gonna like
No,
make it
if
like,
he
don't
wasn't in
worry.
his, if he was on the ground scouring backwards, he'd be like, you don't know what kind of trouble you're going to get into. Like I understand it.
Yeah,
Like there
yeah.
was
If he's in some type of safety mode, like I'm in, like okay, I'm a little.
like
He falls behind a
like
barrier or something. Like
yeah,
he's being
he's being choked.
strangled.
Like this vampire can squish his head. Like this is
Pop it.
so much to say in the course of your head being squished or
Oh
your
my
neck being
god.
exposed. The page panel before, yes, the guy's like
Yeah,
ready to chop nothing. He's not going to say anything. And plus, vampires move fast,
yeah.
so
This is scary.
yeah, not well thought out.
These things would be scary, right? And then yeah, just around the corner, you're just gonna have Caps just hanging out. Steve Rogers, Captain America's just hanging out in Harlem, waiting. I'm right around the corner. And how does he know he's there? But I have good friends. I'm just a regular dude. You're a social worker, actually. He's screaming like, wait, I don't need you to talk right now. Okay, let's go back to back.
This isn't Spider-Man. You should separate the action from the dialogue and tell it in a much shorter way afterwards. Get your point across.
What
Come on,
time of day
seven
is that? Well, he's saying like you want to
seven
grab
six
some
seven.
breakfast. Like, are we sure what time of day is? Isn't the sun going down here? Or
Like
is
what?
like
Why are they protected from the sun's clearly behind them, right? Or is that a gleam? Don't know. It's very bright
yeah,
out. I guess their armor protects them from the sun, maybe.
yeah, but no one goes to like the soup kitchen for breakfast, right? I don't know. I would think it's going now it's like lighter out. All right, so here we go. There's a lot of stuff going on here. You just happen to have is everyone on like how they every black character of the Marvel Universe is right here, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I also hate the way the editing choice, or maybe it was a paste up. Like, why is Luke Cage like so much of the foreground? There's no color separation. It's just a flat color. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird.
That is weird.
It's so
Um,
weird. You have
you know,
Brother Voodoo, Ironheart, Blue Marvel, Blade, Miles Morales.
right.
Who's behind? And then who's behind Captain Marvel? Photon, right? We can't call her Patriot, Misty Knight.
Yeah.
And
It's
I'm
like how
confused. And who's Billy? So I thought that this is his cousin in this, right? So Sam Wilson's cousin is this woman, but in the TV show it was a sister, and they went to New Orleans. And where is this?
this
Where did
is
we go? He's like,
in a
we
park.
gotta.
It's got to be near
It's a
what?
house because they go in the, like, or no, I guess this is like, is this it's his house?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, they have all the pictures, so they just paste in a bunch of pictures. Ay, ay, ay. This is all just really, this is really problematic. I think all this is problematic. And everyone kind of pops in real fast too. Like, weren't you guys all outside? You're all here
Like, and does he know any of them? Wouldn't he rather have his family there than a bunch of strange superheroes?
I really want to see that. I really want to. I'm very curious on the because you kind of know he's a Manchurian candidate, Isaiah Bradley in the movie, right? He's
Yeah.
gonna go nuts. He's gonna try and kill Harrison Ford, right? He's gonna try and kill Thunderbolt Ross in this. So the biggest thing with us, I think, is just like, okay, okay, we're gonna salute him, no problem. This I have no real problems with this. I just like I feel like that they're saying so many things. They're just say I think they say black a bunch of times in this. It's just goofy. All this is just goofy, man. And also, who the hell is this? Who is this? You mean to tell me that Thunderbolt Ross is somewhere in Marvel continuity and they can't use him? in a Captain America book.
Yeah, I don't
He's
get that.
important somewhere else. And by the way, I'm about 90% sure reading the Red Hulk prequel that was in an issue or two ago of Hulk 600 or 800, whatever that was. Um, that was Thunderbolt Ross. So who the heck's this guy? Who's this guy? And it says he's been in Avengers No Surrender. Why? Maybe at that time, in Avengers No Surrender is what, 5, 6 years old? That was what? That was the Jim Zub. There was a bunch of people who worked on that, right? There was a bunch of them.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Jim Zub, Al Ewing, Mark Waid.
that was like the almost bi-weekly Avengers book, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But so this guy was then he was introduced then, so maybe he was a Thunderbolt Ross then ish character.
I don't know. I don't know. This book
And
was kind
wait,
of
so has
underwhelming.
he done this before? So it's just, you still got that plugin that lets you Hulk out. Maybe that was a storyline in No Surrender, but Greg Pak didn't write that, or maybe he was one of the writers in that. Evan Narcisse didn't write that. I just feel like it's a weird pull. It's a pull of a storyline that no one remembers. And you have a movie coming out with, you know, with Thunderbolt Ross. And look at this. Like you said, if this is a legacy character and maybe Cap should go on vacation. I just don't believe it. I hate this Cap. I hate this shield design.
Hmm.
What is this? Or is that elevated, you think? Like, I guess it looks like it would be elevated. Like, it just looks,
Yeah, yeah.
I just hate
Which would mess with
the aerodynamics of it.
yeah.
And now we have this Red Hulk. It's a different Red Hulk than the Red Hulk book that's coming out in like a month. And then you got this guy has a mustache. And why would a white-haired guy with a mustache, when he turns into the Hulk, he has black hair and keeps the mustache? It's just confusing. It's not the same rules for Red Hulk to Red Hulk. It's just goofy.
Yeah.
That was my cats.
Really. All right, that's a
um,
good. That's a good.
that's a good one there. All right, so let's get all right. It's the wrong. It's on time. Yeah, it doesn't progress the story. Oh, you also got into a discrimination of loans in there. We didn't talk about that, but that's okay.
That's fine.
Um,
We got to keep moving.
yeah, so there we go. So we're at Ultimates 8. I like this. Oh, I wanted to talk about this real fast. This is the worst. So you have Harvey Hall of Fame nominee. That's the worst John Bush. You could have any John Buscema era Avengers piece of artwork. Um, you
Right.
could have
Silver
even an
Surfer.
android could
Fantastic. Yeah.
cry. You know what I mean? This is the worst Art Adams you could have, right? That's from what? Rebirth of the Atom or Battle of the whatever a couple years ago. That's young Jean Grey, maybe. I don't even know. It just that Art Adams, you're not gonna have a classic X-Men Art Adams, you're not gonna have anything like that. You're not gonna do anything like that. Okay. And then Larry Hama. Now the only thing I thought was interesting, and so when I think of Buscema, I think of Conan. They don't have the rights to Conan. So you can't put
Right.
Conan there, yeah?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
that's
of
true.
Larry Hama. What do I think of? Writer artist Larry Hama.
That's
What do
right.
you think of?
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe, the silent issue. You can't have that either. So I
Can't have
get
that
that.
either.
So I guess I don't really mind the last one per se, because I do think, and I don't think of him as
No,
ru-
if you're going to ask him the second biggest thing
drawing
he
that.
did, it's Wolverine.
Correct. Give me LCD, baby. Give me
Although
LCD.
I
Albert and
would have
LCD.
I would have found a better Wolverine Sabretooth. You know,
So the Wolverine Sabretooth cable cover or
that's a great
something,
cover.
something to that effect. I just don't. Or you have nah, because then it could be like the Weapon X. Like I like the cover of like 48, I think it is, where like all the stuff's like kind of like coming out of him.
Yeah, that's a really
Where
good cover.
he's in the Weapon X, and that's a good Silvestri. So I listen, and this is why like this was the only page I thought was kind of funny. There's so much exposition right here. Look at this.
Yeah,
That's a little too much, but that's okay. But that's all right. I don't know. I
a
would
lot
have
of
been like,
exposition, but you
pull
know
that
what?
out, drop it out. You do need it.
It's
I think you did need it for this. You need to explain
but it
who
was
these
also
are,
interesting. It was
how they're popping up.
interesting. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
you can have this much if it's a lot of cool things to say and cool things to think about.
Yeah, I like this just all around. I just seem to really like this all around. I think that the art's great. Juan Figueroa is excellent. I do. This made me think of. It's funny, and I watched it, I guess, about a month or two ago, The Big Sick, because if you remember at the end of The Big Sick, Emily wakes up and Camille and Johnny looks at her, and he's been there for a month, and then she kind of breaks up with him, saying like, "Look, I wasn't here. You were a dick, and then I went into a coma." Like I wasn't here. You were here falling in love with me. I'm
Hmm.
comatose. So this
Yeah,
is kind of a similar thing here where she's like, I don't have the memories you have, you know? So I can't really follow you. I have no doubt that I may have been in love with you, but I wasn't there. I can't remember what you're talking. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
So that's kind of it's a cumbersome situation. I of course always like, the Guardian 3000 concept here, but we talk about this too. They push over 4,000. They go 660, 100. Is that right? That's not right.
Yeah.
Um, but I just like staring at all this stuff. Give me all that stuff. You got a bunch of giant mans, a bunch of visions.
Mhm.
Um,
Mark,
so I want to see a lot of stuff
hold
in here.
1 second.
Yeah. Me to pause it?
You can pause it if you want to.
All right,
So I'm
let me
only going to be
pause
on a
it.
second.
Okay. I will not pause it. Or do I know how to pause it? Oh wait, that's my screen share is paused, but my recording's still going. All right, so there's a lot of stuff going on. I always think that I like the Star brand. I like the inclusion of Star brand in there because I always forget that Hickman played around a little bit with Star brand, and I kind of like that.
Yeah. And I'm always a big Captain Universe fan. Love
Love you,
Captain
boy,
Universe.
Gerard the Phoenix, the Gerard the Phoenix.
Now, is that the Phoenix from Guardians that Valentino created?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, this
He,
is neat because he's playing around with like just all these like he must have made a huge list and just wrote down characters, futures, weird things. Like this is like what Grant Morrison would do at his best when he was doing like his crimes like CSA or JLA 1 million, you know. This
yeah,
is this is really smart stuff. And I love
yeah.
like we got the negative zone, what's the positive zone? You know, we got all these Hulks from
You have
the
more of
the
the
one
Gamma
storyline.
Hulks. Yeah,
You
you have
know,
Galactus.
the Cedar of Worlds, which in the was that Fife right in that?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was his
and
Ultimates.
and, and with Kenneth Rockefeller drawing it. So I remember it was really good looking.
Yeah, and this is probably the future. So you have Iron Kang, basically. You have Iron Lad Kang, which is a thing. You have
Yeah.
some Celestials in there. This is what's coming. So to me, this may be the ultimate incursion stuff. So we have a little bit of preview of that. Whether it goes to that or not, we don't know. The
Yeah.
Unmaker wins. The Unmaker. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Again, a lot of good concepts. Very, very Warren Ellis, very Grant Morrison. Good. Progressed it. I feel like every time the Ultimate Spider-Man, I'm just like going backwards. I feel like I'm going backwards with everything.
I often wonder if they're going to bring anything else in from the original Ultimate Universe, because like that's original Ultimate Universe. Reed Richards. I think
mm,
Stu and Thing got together. Like they were a couple. I don't know if they lived or died. I kind of forget like what happened at the end of Ultimate.
right.
Before everything merged. So I don't know what else is here. Wasn't Jimmy Hudson Wolverine's son brought to our universe? It wasn't
Yeah, and they
just Miles
dropped it.
Morales.
Right, and then they dropped it. Yeah.
I don't
Did
know.
they use Jimmy Hudson in any of the Aaron Jason Aaron stuff? I don't think so. They had all of his kids.
No, no, he was used in Bendis's book, right? Or not Bendis's book, like X-Men Blue. Was he in X-Men Blue?
Oh, I think it was an X-Men Blue. Yeah.
I don't know what happened after that. So
I'm lost. I hate all that stuff. So
I know.
okay. So the only reason I put this on here was because I would looked at next week's books and I want to see what if Galactus transformed to Gambit. But I had the wrong week when I was looking at freshcomics.com. So I was
Okay.
like, I had the wrong week. So then I was like, I don't really want to read this. But I did grab the alternate cover. I'll probably put a better res in that. But so Ron Lim did this, and I don't really blame him because he didn't do the interiors. But I also put this because it said here's a Bagley, and Bagley's making his own stuff. You get Richard Isonote. I couldn't figure out what this was, so I literally Googled Jack Kirby monster and window or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then so it's this. So Tales of Astonishing 34. Oh look, I put this is on the Kirby Museum. Kirby Museum actually has like a moving GIF little movie thing here where it's literally showing you the interior because back then the covers would be sometimes just a repurposed piece of artwork. Now the next
Yeah.
one, so that's the original, that's the interior, and then your Monsters on the Prowl is John Romita Sr. adds switches out the woman, man for the woman, and then has another guy looking out a window. So actually pushes it further away. Let me see if I can go back. Yeah. So you have this guy coming out the window
Right.
further. Okay. Yeah, not necessarily. Let's put some underwear on him. Let's delineate it. and not better per se. Gets a little more sinister. Weird. I don't know. But Monsters on the Prowl was kind of funny. There's actually some pretty good reprints if you find this because a lot of
Oh no,
these,
those are great.
but they have to have some of them have to have like 4 or 5 pages of extra new stuff. Yeah, so there's some stuff here and there that are in there that's like Tom Sutton or Mike Flug. Like you have some stuff in here that if you kind of go through, it's kind of hard to sift through. But if you can find a good scan file of this stuff, none of this stuff's reprinted because this is reprints to reprints. But
Right,
they should do something with a lot of these covers because a lot of these covers, like I said, are new, right?
right, new or changed or something. Yeah,
We talked about this on the phone. This is just kind of lazy, for this. It
dude.
didn't really hold
There's so
anything.
many places you could have gone with the Hulk. There's so many Hulk stories. There's so many different things like versions of the Hulk. You know, this is a lazy story.
You just have and you just had an Avengers team just fight the Hulk like you'd fight the Hulk anyway. So nothing really happened. You know what I mean? Like so,
Yeah, there's
and then
no
there's no
alternate universe.
conclusion.
It's just yeah,
And they're
bad.
like, oh,
It's a bad what if.
and I
And
don't. And the
and
coloring's weird too. Look, why is he like yellow here?
because
Like
he's
I'm like,
always like it's always like the Hulk green skin is fighting the Silver Surfer Sheen. I'm like, this is why would he be like a green Sheen?
why does he
You
have a
know,
mohawk? Why does he
bad.
have a
It's
bad?
bad.
Does he have a bad Gen X
I would have
haircut?
wrote the hell out of the story, dude. There's so many things you could have did with this.
I want to read the Gambit one because I can't concept why the heck would you pick this guy who charges cards as
They
your
don't.
guy?
None of the new what ifs ever make sense. Why is Miles Morales? They did a whole
Thor.
series of what if he was Thor?
Yeah.
What if he, you know
If
what I
he's
mean?
Cap.
That's
Okay.
stupid. That's not what a what
Yeah.
if is.
And it's really bad too because it's like I hate the way that it's phrased. And like what is happening? Like, okay, here we go. Proper logo placement. Great cover, right? This
Hmm.
is this is Lim's new anchor. Great. Coloring's great. Okay, I guess you're doing this. That's not what he's handing it in on. You're gonna do graph paper.
Yeah.
It's fine. But like you can't make that bigger. So she said. I don't know. Just rough. And then I did put in here we go. So here's a couple of the also, this has nothing to do with this book. This is a Galactus picture,
It's
right?
just a Galactus drawing by Ryan
Here's
Brown,
another Galactus picture. Great,
which this
fine.
is a really cool. Seeing Stephen Platt draw Galactus was pretty cool. Were you there when he showed us this at Baltimore?
Yeah,
He had
yeah.
the original art with him, and it's incredible. This
Well,
doesn't
when
look
we
as
saw
good
him,
as the original art.
he was drawing a Wolverine sketch, but it was kind of the same head. Like he's just doing these heads,
Yeah,
whatever. Hey, pretty great, right? And then this is and there's your Alex Sinclair again doing a simple, doing a simple coloring on it. Okay, I guess, you
yeah.
know, you're doing little bubbles. All right, I guess.
Me. All right.
Yeah, it's blow through
Excellent.
X Force.
Once
Um,
again,
Again, Stephen Segovia cover, I guess. I don't think it's necessary.
nope. It's a fine cover, but you have a really good artist drawing the issue. Why wouldn't you have that really good artist who's drawing the issue draw the cover?
Well, X Force, you got the two toes, right? You got Jim
Two
Toe
toes.
here. You got Marcus Toe, but Marcus Toe didn't do it. I think Marcus Toe did have an alternate cover,
Mm.
so that's fine. I don't know. I guess I don't need all of this. Phoenix confuses me. Rachel Phoenix confuses me. And also, the more that I think about it, I guess they would be somewhat kindred spirits because again, this Psylocke's been in like a couple different bodies and her consciousness been in a few different people, and the
Hmm.
same thing here. I don't know. I don't really remember them getting together. Remember when did that
No,
happen?
I don't recall that. That's new. It's
So I feel
new.
like they're just putting that in there. All right, I
Yeah,
guess. And
it's
I'm also a
cool.
little over like the big sword, right? I know we talked about this is very. I don't know. Why doesn't she have regular Excalibur? You need to have like Japanese sword Excalibur. I don't know.
Yeah,
Magic's got to have a
she's
big
British.
thing.
She's British.
And then I don't know. I just feel like since it was a Final Fantasy VII or whatever, that's the big sword. I do like the weird character version of this, and then you have a Colossus at the end, which I imagine that whatever was he a doctor? He's got like the doctor thing. It's
I don't
not
know.
that, but
Is
it's
it
just
controlling them? I don't know
I
where's
would
Colossus
imagine,
been.
right on the nose. You know what I mean? So it was okay. It was fine. I just I wanted to
Yeah,
be a little bit more. Here we did a couple image books this week. You can talk more about this. My only My only issue is this is many, I suppose. But see here, I do like that there's three covers to this. Did you see that? So they basically has this. This is the regular cover, but then he has like a Marvel Comics banner cover. It's Image
Yeah,
Comics Group, and then he
that's
has a
that's his
squiggle line.
preferred. His preferred cover is with the Image Comics banner, which looks
Okay,
like the '70s Marvel banner, which is when he grew up. So he
yeah,
likes that look,
sure,
but he's usually smart enough to make the digital version the traditional, modern dragon.
yeah, which will fit
So
all your other digital dragons.
right, right. So, but if you get a physical, you have a choice. And what was the third one?
The third one, it's a different logo, Savage Dragon. It's like a squiggle line Savage Dragon.
All right, I'll have to go look at that.
It's pretty cool.
I kind of forget, but yeah, um, yeah, I'm still reading this book. 200. This is a great page. Like this is
Yeah, this
neat.
is a great. I guess my only, I'm so confused on who's who because again, I
Yeah,
haven't read 100 issues or so.
yeah,
So
you're
when I
way
go to
behind on this book.
but I guess what's weird, I find weird about it is that when he draws, there's tentacle born, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
He does the like up here, he's doing the like Charlie
Hill.
Brownish face. But then down here, this is her little face. This is her little girl face. So it's hard for me to see like her butt, and then she's like 10. You know what I mean? Like so
Yeah,
my
yeah,
brain
yeah.
goes in a different spot here. And then again, and even at the end, because this is a different construct, right? That's
Right. That's a multiverse version of her mom was like kept in like stasis and like he like killed the mom but made her but she was pregnant with her.
right.
So yeah. He's
Because that's image zero. Is that image
no,
zero or no?
no. Nope.
Who's that? Who got shot there?
That's a Debbie Harry, I think. No, this is
Blondie.
yes, yes. No, this is her mom.
Mhm.
Her see this is her. Ugh. All right. I
Yeah,
know, I know.
go ahead.
Dragon
I'll
there was
leave
a
you to it.
character there was a character named Smasher who Dragon was the one fell in love with and he helped raise her as a little girl. But this comic is told in real time. So this girl Dragon's been around for 30 years. So this girl's grown from a 12-year-old girl to, 20 something year old woman. Her mom got killed, so now she's the new Smasher. But now she's an adult and she's married to like the Mr. Glum switched minds with her fiance, Frank Darling Jr., who's the son of Frank Darling, the cop who Savage Dragon friends with. Like this, every one of the original series is like dead pretty much.
Mhm.
Like he's Frank Darling Jr. She's Smasher daughter, and even Dragon himself in this book is Malcolm Dragon, who's
Son
Savage
of
Dragon's
Dragon.
son. Yeah.
Right.
So it's
That's what I'm saying.
I know
Saying
it's
a
it's
lot.
it sounds confusing, but it's not because I've been reading it for 274 issues. Actually, more because the miniseries
Right. And
and
the
other specials and
dragon.
miniseries and all that
And
stuff. Yes. So, but you
um
know what? I enjoy the book. It does become a little R-rated at times.
yeah.
Usually done more for humor than any other reason. It's not like people are like, "Oh, it's such a hot book," you know.
Yeah, I mean
But yeah,
overall it's like but see that's what I mean is he still has this impact. Yeah. So look at how good this page is.
yeah.
Look at how good
Oh
he
no,
still
he
has it.
he brings it. He's got double page spreads that are still just look every bit as good as any Spider-Man Dragon book you saw from the '90s.
Yeah, and I do say that like it's funny. That's why I want to again. We always talk about you should be reading Conan. Like I think so much is taken, especially buying a different bunch of old Conans. Between Costanza did a handful of Conan books, lettering and the design of the title page, but Joe Rosen's kind of the guy. Joe
Yeah.
Rosen's kind of the guy, right? So when you have stuff like this, you have Jack Morelli doing it, but they're still doing a very much like a Joe Rosen
Well,
impact
Jack
first
Morelli has
page.
been lettering for a long ass time.
Jack Morelli is my favorite cosmic letterer. And what I mean by that is Jack Morelli, I believe, did all three Infinity, Gauntlet, War, Crusade, Warlock and Infinity Watch, Warlock Chronicles. I feel like I don't know if he did all Silver Surfer, like the Ron Lim Silver Surfers, but I feel like when Starlin was writing a lot of that stuff, or Ron Mars, I feel like Morelli did a lot of that stuff. So here it's a little more controlled, looks a little bit less than Frank Morelli or Jack Morelli
He
rather,
he
but
um
still tight though.
he was losing his writer. Larson was losing his letterer, and he needed a new letterer. And Liefeld's Shield comic came out, and that's who and Jack Morelli lettered that. And he was like, "Oh, I like this. This is I think what I want." And then he put out issue of Dragon, the same issue, lettered by two different people. Like he put out one version by Morelli and another one by I
Oh,
forget who. And he's like, "Hey, who do you guys think is better?" And people ended up kind of going with Morelli. The other guy was just as talented, you
Huh.
know. So yeah, he is that. But that's the type of stuff Larson does. Puts out the same comic, lettered by two different people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I mean look, it's still going, and this is still him. It's 274, right? Is that
Yeah,
right?
we're getting a big 100-page issue this month.
So here's the thing. So we have that, right? So it's been Larson all the way through. I'd rather have 274 issues of Larson even when he has the weird sperm stuff and all the tentacle porn, right?
Right,
But
right.
and you have McFarlane claiming that this is the longest in an independent series of all time. You haven't touched it for 200, 300 issues, right? Like 300 and
Right.
like, come on.
You're
So I just don't know. And I also think, again, McFarlane's so weird and bad with his covers, right? So this is your front of the digital.
right.
That this is your second,
Like
or
first off,
actually it was the third. I want to say that he has three
there
covers.
is there is three covers. Carlos Barberi, if you go back to the first one, he he drew Spawn for a long time,
Right.
but he's not drawing it now. So why does he get the A cover? And the artist who is actually drawing it, Brett Booth, gets the C cover.
Barbieri isn't better than Brett Booth. Okay.
No,
He's not saying anything wrong about it. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So when Angel Medina took over for Capullo, Capullo is a better technically for that at the time a better artist than Medina. Had more tenure. So the handful of Medina before Medina was doing the covers, you had you had Capullo doing the covers, just as like that's fine.
yeah,
But even Capullo covers were kind of just like it was McFarland up anyway. This is so the inks on this is different. This is Daniel Henrique's inks, who did the inks on Philip Tan on the Ronin Rising book, which is through Frank Miller Productions or whatever,
mhm.
now through Abram Comics Arts. Um, and then Ivan Nunez. So this, I almost feel like because I feel like this. I like these inks a little bit more. This
Yeah.
just feels like a very good impact because it was I didn't realize that I put it on the list. I didn't realize it was more of like a jumping on point. But
Okay.
my only issue should we just have
Brett.
a column for me? My only issue is
Well,
my
yeah.
only issue
First off,
is
Brett Booth loves drawing dinosaurs,
yeah. So
and
that's
I
good.
love that. He does it in almost every book he does.
Is there still a Brett Booth? I want to say there was a Kickstarter or something that he was doing for a little bit. It was like a bunch of '90s, like almost like Wild Core-ish characters looking.
There was something. I don't know how much of that came out.
Yeah, I don't think it
Um,
came out. Came out. I don't know if he
I
ever
definitely
finished it.
should do into it. I know people who have the physical copies of it,
Yeah.
so I gotta find out because I'm
A lot of
curious.
So my whole thing with this whole issue is that here's your action right here. The bottom three panels here. This is
Right.
the action of the book. Three panels. Not even 3 pages. 3 panels.
Yeah.
Three
McFarlane loves
panels.
to talk.
And then you have a person finding them, right? I don't know who this is. And I feel like this has been how many times has it been depleted? It's been
I don't
depleted.
know if it's ever has it been depleted.
I feel like it's been depleted a bunch
I
of
feel like it's been
times.
close, and then I got like
this is
repowered.
this is 000. Okay, well,
Wasn't it in Image United where it's like infinity, infinity, infinity because he's like Lord
yeah.
Spawn or something like
Oh my God. Uh, okay, this is blood. Wasn't blood? I'm confused. Didn't we just do this? Didn't we talk about blood and the freak and
yeah,
all those
yeah.
people? This is blood?
It's not.
No.
Is he called Blood through
Yeah,
Blood's
it says
body?
right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess McFarlane liked the name because Blood ended up becoming Tremor. Insert Image United zero Tremor slash Blood here.
No. No, I don't know. Listen. There's more than one. Listen, call Liefeld. Call somebody.
I know.
He's had like
Call Name King Liefeld.
it's not as if like like I really feel like I mean seriously half the people like who replaced Angela.
Tiffany.
Come on, man. Like, like, it's just, you got to come up with some more things. This doesn't have to be, you know, I don't know who this is.
He's done more issues with less characters than anyone I've ever seen.
And now
He's
there's
done
like 10 series. There's so many series right now.
yeah.
There's Gunslinger Spawn. There's
Oh yeah, Rat City and you
Rat
name
City,
it.
which is Spawn 2099. Like, it's still Spawn, you know?
Yeah.
Video Spawn, like it's just, I just don't know. I like, it's just a lot of standing around, a lot of stuff. We're about to get ready. We're going to do something. Let's just sit. This person's literally sitting. I'm just going to sit, tell you about it. Okay. What's going over there? All right, let's go over there.
Yeah. I wish
Uh,
Spawn was more readable. Like I love looking at it every month,
It's
especially
hard to
Brett Booth
read.
drawing it. It is a
Yeah.
hard read. It's a hard read.
Yeah, I want to again when he went over there. I'm like, oh, cool. I want to. Yeah, good, good. And this is the kickoff. There's your action right there, buddy.
McFarlane should be going after all the '90s artists who aren't working. Go find the Ryan Benjamins and the
But Willis
Dan
on this,
Nortons
man.
and
Willis
the
was on this for a bit. Yeah,
Wills was on it. It was really good.
yeah. That was a. I feel like the only time it was readable is when Larson did it, and I want to say, even though we know that it was overwritten because he had to
Yeah,
go in and
over.
touch it,
Yep.
McFarlane had to go in and mess around with it.
Picture Mike.
And yeah, we know McFarlane had to go in and re
which
script it.
which made Larson leave because Larson was definitely going to be on it for 12 issues. I think he ended up doing like 8. He might have stayed on it longer.
But I feel like
So
then you had like Brian Haberlin. You had some other people like pop in, um, and I feel like
yeah, Brian Haberlin. He's
those were readable. David Hine,
speaking of
David
Brian
Hine.
Haberlin. There's this book I've been trying to get him and Philip Tan did a book called like Captain Wonder or something like that in 3D. And I've
Hmm.
never been able to find it, but they just put it in like a trade that came out a week or two ago.
Hmm.
It's like a bunch of their work together or Haberlin work.
In
But
3D. Have you
yeah,
done any 3D? I should. Where's my Valiant Vision glasses? I got them around here somewhere.
it's called 3D Anomaly.
Okay.
Um,
Um, yeah, I gotta get my Valiant Visions and look at 3D stuff because we talked about it earlier in the week that we were thinking about maybe doing a LXG reread. LXG,
yeah, that's right.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That'd be a fun reread. It's a really in-depth
Reread.
and we can never do like Justin Evans has a whole annotations website and a series of books, which I bought initially, you
Right,
know. But
right.
eventually, as I'm reading, I'm like, you know what? I love knowing who all these characters are, but when you get like a full issue or two into it, you're like, I kind of stop caring. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
right,
going to
right.
remember now. It's information in, nothing stayed, very little, 10%.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because again, these are all things. It's not our country. Most of the stuff that they're referencing is going to be
I
English stuff or English literary stuff, and we can't retain it. We don't
You
know
know
it.
what it is? It's like we're aware of all the major characters and familiar with a bunch of them, but then he really gets into the weeds. And
Mm.
Justin Evans is so into the details of this book that he picks up things that Alan Moore didn't even intend,
Right,
you know,
right, right, right.
which is
Yeah,
what real fans do. I like if I love something, I'll like Alan Moore Supreme. I'll see stuff that's not even there, you
right,
know.
right.
But it's just me making connections. It's almost conspiracy theory like, or but it's fun. It's absolutely fun, and you can do it with any comic,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm going through. I'm going through rereading some BPRD stuff, and I just want to kind of blow through the rest of the omnibuses as I can. Try to do an issue or two a day or something like that. So, I'm in a couple different rabbit holes right now, but yeah. Again, I just okay. So this is the last thing. Last thing. I know we gotta wrap it up,
Yeah,
but
let's wrap it up.
here we go. Who is in charge of these ads, man? Okay, so look at this ad, right?
Hmm.
It's a fine ad. There's no website on it. Now I know we can all search the website. Just throw a website up there,
Yes.
McFarlaneToys.com. Yeah. Um, what is this? So look at this pointer. What's this? You know what this is?
What you talk
Are
about
you
the
ready for
TM?
it?
Okay.
No, this circle right here. This is a mistake. Is this Photoshop? Is this art supposed to be down here? Or are we in the wrong
Is it
section?
is it supposed to be the top of the image eye?
Top of the image eye. There, just zoomed it in. Ready? Boom.
Right.
It's because he's doing the same thing that he's doing for the Marvel stuff, but now he's making his own. Here's a spawn number one. All right.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we knew what the image was right away.
I know, but you, it's $449.
$450, but it's no better than the Marvel toys that are like 50. I mean, I know it'll
Exactly.
look
I'm sure it's 1 in 10 scale. I don't know what that measurement is. It's probably 10. It was 10 inches tall. Right, but the Marvel statues are. Have you seen any of those out? I know they're hitting something. 'Cause I've seen a couple on Instagram. So I
no,
don't know if they're
I haven't
out.
seen one in person.
Yeah, I got to go to Walmart. It's going to snow. We're outside of Philly, and it's going to snow
Yeah.
tonight-ish tomorrow. So I need to go get a
Yes.
couple things.
Yeah, we got to get some stuff and we
Sure,
got to like
Walmart's
I
going
got to
to
go
be
grab my snow shovels, put them on the
redonkulous.
front porch,
Yeah, exactly. So,
do all that little
uh,
things.
so hand numbered on base includes hand signed scroll for display. Does that mean
So
uh
super cool, probably super fragile, but yeah, bad advertising. Like I would have showed the whole thing with the image eye. Like why would you not?
Show the image eye, say what it is, and it's already sold out. It's not shipping until March. Wouldn't you leave it open? I don't know how long it's been sold out, but I'm just saying, like, wouldn't you just keep collecting it? It doesn't say what the limited number is. He can make the limited number before it ships. Is it signed? It says hand signed scroll. I feel like there was a picture of that. I don't think I have that. But I feel like there was a little. I don't know. I don't know. But there was like a little sign because I know some of the stuff he has that he's literally writing a signature, and they're
Mhm.
charging X. So, but yeah, this should be if say or you do two versions of it. Yeah. So this is 10 inches. Say I want a 6 inch or a 5 inch. Like I wouldn't mind having this, right? I'm not spending 550 on it.
No way.
But if you did the plastic one, you gave it to me for 50 bucks. Okay, I might.
Yep. No, that's a much better. I would
I
I
don't
would
know
buy.
how good the Marvel ones are yet. I haven't seen them in person.
Yeah, I haven't
So
seen it
I
in
don't
person
trust
either.
them. I don't trust them yet.
Yeah.
Because they could be 2 ups, 3 ups.
Hmm.
Um, we'll see. But yeah, just goofy. So I'm on the McFarlane store, blah blah blah, sold out, sold out. So maybe before, if the printing is so this, then
Yeah.
you wait or you swap an ad.
Yep.
You got stuff you want to sell, throw a different ad up. Anyway, that's it. We
That's
gotta
it.
go. We gotta go.
Everyone, have a great week. Have a good weekend,
Have a
and
good. Be safe.
we'll talk to you next week with news and reviews and 1 day interviews.
1 day interviews for the whole
Check
day,
for the whole day.
whole Sunday.
This whole show is just an interview with each other. It's all it's all it is.
We'll have an all day Sunday interview with somebody.
Oh my goodness.
Your
So
wife will love it.
she will. I'm already getting the
All right. Well,
no,
that's
she
right.
doesn't do that. Can you imagine?
Yeah. She
She's
might as
not that
well.
type.
Surprised she doesn't grab your phone and text me like, get the fuck off. You leave him alone. Let him be. I'm like, no, I'm not doing
That would mean she'd
anything.
have to have contact with you. So that's not happening.
Oh wow.
So I
Thank
ain't
you.
talking to him. He's got a C in his name, not even a K, like a real man.
Oh, that's correct. All
Just
right. All right. Well, we'll see everybody. Happy New Year's still, and
Happy New
let's
Year
keep it
still.
going.
Make
And
the most of it. Make the
like and
most of it because
subscribe.
that's what I'm trying to do.
Action. This year is all action.
It's all
Action
action.
Jackson. Action Jackson.
Action monthly because it's no longer weekly.
Right. And it's gonna be late, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. It's gonna be a
Uh
week late. Oh. All right. That's it. See you, everybody.